Hi, everybody. This is Blizzard Watch Plays Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We're doing an adaptation of the classic adventure path, Rise of the Runelords, which is going to be interesting because I'm kind of doing the conversion on the fly. I have found some sites that have some conversion stuff already done, so I am blatantly stealing from them. But for right now, it's just grab as grab can and go on. My party of adventurers is mostly familiar to people who are familiar with the site, I would think. I'm going to go around and make sure that everybody's here with a whole introduction thing where they tell you about themselves and their characters. And we're going to start with the enigmatic... are you an elf or a half-elf? I always forget. Anne, go ahead.
I'm an elf. Not in real life, but in the game I'm an elf called Swift Flickerwind. And I'm a rogue because... I know how to play those, and I've never played Pathfinder, so I figured, okay, we'll try and make this easy. I don't know if this is going to be easy. I have a lot of dice on my desk. Yes. I'm level 1. That's all.
Alrighty. Next up, a guy who probably knows the rule system better than me at this point, because whilst I have read it a lot, I've never played it. I don't know if you've ever played it either, but what the heck. Joe.
I have actually never played it, but hi, I'm Joe Perez. You may recognize me from literally every podcast we do on this site, because... in the absence of Anne, I have become the poobah of podcast. I'm playing Ogwish. I'm just a little frog. That's it. I'm just a little frog. Don't mind the fact that he knows Kung Fu.
He's a frog who knows Kung Fu. It's a movie that they just barely missed making. They went with a panda instead, and quite frankly, I think that was a mistake. But next up, Liz is a tiny little friendly rat person, I take it?
Yes, I am. Hello, I'm Liz. I'm playing Varsha. She is a tiny, totally super friendly rat person. Nothing to worry about. And also, she also has a pet rat, which is because I can, so I do.
Yep, it's like every human wants to have a pet monkey. We're weird that way.
Liz will always play a character that has a pet. This is a rule that is written into our games.
Finally, playing a character that, in this group actually kind of comes off as boringly normal, is Nick.
When you say it like that, the reality does set in.
You're kind of like the enigmatic gunslinger type who comes from a faraway land, are probably the most relatable character in this group.
And I am going to be playing Shiro, a human gunslinger, and I've never played Pathfinder, but I, much like everyone else, I'm looking forward to figuring it out and sort of seeing what sort of mess a human, a rat, a frog, and a half-elf can get up into.
Elf. Full elf.
No,
full elf. Sorry. My apologies.
Never.
Okay.
I can lick my own eyeball. That's about it. I can get up to that.
Yeah, he can lick his own eyeball. And with that, we're going to give people a brief synopsis of what's been going on in this little area. Basically, the adventure starts in the town of Sandport. Sandpoint. My bad. I can't read. They've been having a rough time of it lately. The past few years, they had something that the people in the town like to call the late unpleasantness. We're in their pride and joy, the town cathedral, which was like something that, a town this size doesn't normally have a cathedral, but they had one and they were really happy with it. It got burned to the ground. The head priest died. The ward of the head priest, who was a Asimar named Nuala, seems to have been killed in the attack as well, because it was a bunch of goblins that attacked, and it was a goblin raid. And so that happened. Meanwhile, one of the high up people in the town lost his wife. She vanished during the goblin attack, and his name is Longiku. He's Longiku Kaijutsu, sorry. He was from the distant land, as well as many of people in Sandpoint, because Sandpoint is a fishing village where people come from lots of places. Varesia is kind of a melting pot, sort of. Lots of people come and go. But that happened too. His wife was apparently killed during the goblin raid. His family, shattered. His daughter is kind of flouting family tradition. She's running a local tavern. She goes on adventures from time to time. Her brother vanished. No one knew what happened to him. So yeah, that happened as well, and it's been rough for the town. The double blow and the goblin raids have really kind of set them on their heels a bit, but they've been trying to recover. The Pathfinder Society, which is a group that kind of like sort of like a temp agency for adventurers. I don't know what else to put it. It's like you need some adventurers. You come to them. Then they put out the call to adventurers, and adventurers show up, and you get kind of like gigs to try and do stuff that are that's generally helpful to an area. They're politically neutral, but they're pro people not having their houses burned down by goblins or anybody else. Like if somebody is burning down houses, that's generally not good. So they've been people have been coming in and out of Sandpoint to scoop up that lucrative adventurer money, and also to try and figure out other issues. There's also been a series of serial killings. Wow. Sandpoint's got it rough, but those seem to have cooled down lately. The town mayor is absolutely determined that this festival that they're having is going to fix everybody's problems. It's the Swallowtail Festival. It's a traditional festival. It's been happening for years, but this year the town is going all in on it. They're consecrating their new church. They're getting everybody to show up for this festival. Everything is going to be great. And so as newcomers to the town, each here for your own reasons, you guys find yourself with time on your hands and a town festival to attend if you so choose. And if you don't so choose, I will still find a way to get you into the adventure. So that's the background. If you all have a door slamming in the background, if you all have stuff you want to be doing before or during the festival, what you're up to, in the early morning as dawn comes all rosy fingered across the sky. Yay, pretty. And yeah, go ahead. We'll start with Varsha. Varsha, what are you up to in the morning as the dawn comes?
I think I would definitely be scoping out the festival as kind of the big thing happening in town. I mean, we've heard about the killings and all the things. I'm here to, make some money, to find some work, and this is going to be where everything's going down. You can get a lay of the land, you can see what's happening. So I'm just going to be heading to the festival. Maybe I don't know when it starts, but if I get there early, I can kind of just people watch, see what's setting up, seeing who's going where, and.
Yeah. It's an all day thing. It's kind of like if you've ever been in a town that has an Oktoberfest type thing.
Yeah.
It's not Oktoberfest because these are fishing people and it's mostly about, the fish coming in, hence Swallowtail. But it is still basically that kind of late in the year where, we're thanking the ocean for its bounty. We're thanking the land for sustaining us. We're thanking for not having been murdered by goblins, stuff like that. There's actually games and contests all over the thing. There's stuff happening. There's sack races. There's hide and seek games. There's actually hide and seek games, with adults playing hide and seek for prizes. That's actually happening. There's a weightlifting challenge. There's people trying to walk on a balance beam. There's tug of war. There's pretty much all sorts of the kind of stuff you can get up to when you don't have a ton of money, but you have a bunch of drunk people. That kind of thing. As none of it's really happening yet. As you get there, there's people wagons coming in, lots of barrels of what you assume is some kind of alcoholic libation. Mostly human, not entirely. You'd say it's about 70 to 75% human. And then there's there's some halflings. Occasionally there's at least one or two elves walking by. One of them seems to be in fishing garb and has a really big slouch hat. With a bunch of lures on it, and he's got a cornstalk in his mouth as he's walking towards the water. Is actually a surprising amount of people like you, of rat people, whose names I always forget the name of the race. I think it's not rat folk. Okay, yeah. There's I keep wanting to call you Nizumi because of other games. There's 3 or 4 of them. There's actually a family that you knew they were in town. You've seen them and had quick pleasantries before. They tend to keep to themselves, but they're currently there selling their award-winning cheese. And yes, they're aware. They've heard the jokes, but they still know how to make cheese, and that's by lords, that's what they're doing. They've got a stand for yes, cheese, please don't bring up the rat thing. There's lots of stuff going on. Anything in particular interesting to you? Do you want the games? Do you want to see people getting set up? You can look for lots of different things. There is a fortune teller, because Varisians love that kind of thing. Varisians are absolutely. There's actually competing fortune tellers. There's one who uses cards and one who has a crystal ball, and the two of them are dagger eyeing each other across the street from each other. There's this giant blue wagon painted with all these images of birds and the sky, and across the way from it is a red tent with images of like fire and the hearth, and in each is a what looks to be an elderly woman, although you can't tell for sure. Like that could be an elderly man who's just really into red robes. But they're staring at each other fixedly. One of them, the one of the blue, is like, kind of shuffling a deck of cards. The one in the red has this ball, this big crystal ball that they're holding up, and they're kind of like looking at it, then looking at them, and then looking at it and looking at them. And you feel like if I understood these people's traditions, this would probably make sense to me, but I have no idea. I just know that these two people don't look like them. That's what you see right now as you're wandering about. Anybody else have anything interesting in mind for what they might be doing?
I'm totally tagging along with Liz's character.
All right. Does Liz's character know? I know you guys know each other from the Pathfinder Society, but does she know you're following her?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did we like have a conversation as we left the inn or whatever that you were coming along to the festival? Okay.
Yeah. I was like, let's go see what's up. Let's go mess some things up. And as soon as I saw the fortune tellers, like I sat down in front of the one with the crystal ball and said, "Hit me."
Very well. Puts the crystal ball down in like a little divot like holder. Rubs his hands, and pulls out a deck of cards.
What?
The crystal ball is just for decoration.
Oh, okay.
Begins shuffling the cards. Across the street, you hear, and she pulls out a crystal ball and puts it down in front of her.
I glance over my shoulder behind me and just go, "You're next."
She just, fixedly eyeing the person. You think it's a guy, but you're not 100%. It could be a woman. Could be, maybe they don't care. Maybe that's not something that they're
mysterious person in a robe.
Yeah, just really, really intense red robes and the kind of 1,000-yard stare that would make a Clint Eastwood character in a movie like go, "Oh man, I ain't taking that." Dude does the cards. He's shuffling, he flips them around, and then puts the first card down, and it's a dancing frog holding two axes. He goes, the dancing frog.
Yeah.
This means death. Then he does a few more, puts the second one down. This one's a dog that's upside down, but it's like, how dogs roll on their backs and go like, "Hi"? Yeah. It's like that.
Oh.
And he looks and goes, the playful dog. This means death.
Oh.
Does a few more. Next card, it's what appears to be some kind of like possibly halfling or gnome knight. It's hard to tell because they're in full armor, but they're riding on a dog, so you're pretty sure it's a halfling, because halflings tend to ride on dogs more than gnomes do. Gnomes don't like dogs as much. But it's full on there. The dog has armor. The knight has armor. The knight is holding what is probably a moderately sized spear, but it's pretty long for the person holding it, and is charging. You think it's a dragon's foot. He goes, the undaunted one. This means interaction.
Oh.
Something comes to change the odds. For your final card, I want you to roll a d20 for me and tell me what.
15.
Okay. He's doing the card thing, and then he flips them up in the air, catches them, and draws a card. It's all in one flourishing move. Puts it down. And the card is I believe they're called Gropley. Are they called Gropley in this one, Joe?
Gripply.
I always forget. Gripply. This is a Gripply monk.
What's the grip?
That looks very familiar to you because it is the Gripply monk you know. It is literally, it is the spitting image of Ogwish, who you have met, who is kind of in the loose adventuring party with.
Yeah,
and you'd have sworn that you know it. He goes, "Oh, the wandering hero. Perhaps survival can yet be met."
I mean, I know that guy.
Really?
Is that helpful? Yeah.
Well,
I work with him.
These are new cards. Maybe he's a model?
Could be.
That's interesting. But yeah, that's a good card. So bad stuff's going to happen, but good stuff might happen if the right people do the right things.
That's so perceptive.
5
Thanks.
silver.
And I hand over 5 silver.
Yeah, he's holding out his hands. As you put the 5 silver in, he takes one up and bites on it. Goes, okay. I never know why people do that. It doesn't seem to help. He's like, and now he's like waiting for somebody else to come up.
And I'm going to traipse across the way to the other person and sit down and go, Do you have anything better than that guy? Because he was just kind of...
Well, I will concentrate on the globe of mystery. You're right, idiot, Aldo. Shut up, you hag. He's been married. He loves it. She stares fixedly into the crystal ball. Apparently, and as she like turns up to look at you, an arrow swungs into the wood in front of her, like just above her head, and she drops below her table. Goblins are attacking.
I turn around.
Goblins are attacking.
Oh, great.
And they're like running in. As they're running in with like the weird giant rat looking things that you don't know what that is, but oh my god, that's not good. And there's like 6 or 8 of them. They all have these enormous heads with these incredibly wide mouths full of really sharp teeth. They're just it's not a pleasant sight. Now then, cut to Agwish. What were you doing?
A very people watching, but like getting uncomfortably close to people, like maybe doesn't understand personal space kind of close, and like making observations and then writing them down into like a journal. So like getting too close to people dancing, or to people ordering or enjoying food and stuff like that. Just kind of like seeing how this culture kind of works. That's sort of his thing. Because he's from
inadvertently getting roped into a modeling session.
I mean, he doesn't remember ever being a model.
Several people are giving you strange looks as you walk by. Like, aren't you? No, you can't be.
Yes, I am a traveler in your land. Thank you very much.
No, you're the wandering hero. When I had bunions, you were what told him that I would get over my bunions, and I did get over my bunions, but then I got bunions again.
You have very strange customs, but thank you.
So you're doing that. People do, like, occasionally people are like, wow, it's I haven't seen that many wandering hero frogs people. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. He looks just like the card. But they don't really go into much detail on it. They seem to feel like you know what that is.
Yep, and I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I just kind of smile in like a weird frog smile, like, because, it's, if you've ever seen a frog like with its mouth kind of halfway open and makes that smiley face, that's what he looks like. And he just kind of like nods because he understands that that's supposed to make people feel comfortable.
As you are wandering about, you notice a weird smell. Like, you're like, I mean, I'm used to the smell of fire, and they've got fires all over the place here, but I'm not used to that really wet, nasty fur smell. And then you're like, wait a minute, though. There's nothing fur covered, really. I mean, there's the horses, but they're not wet. Why would anyone? And that's when you see people are running away from the area. And that's what I'm going to try and get everybody moved to the new map, because the new map will explain what's going on.
Yay, map.
Okay, basically, the festival assault area, the initial assault, that's where our first 2 characters, Swift and Varsha, are. You're down on the other side of the map, Agwish. You're like basically right where the compass is on the map. You were down in that area. And Shiro, you get to make your entrance however you like, because this is all happening right now.
So the entire time, Shiro had actually noticed Swift running back and forth and between the stalls, and thought, hey, I know that person, and was going to go up and see what was happening before all mayhem broke loose. Up in the, say, upper right up here by the stage, just walking.
Okay.
through.
Alrighty then. That means, I guess, basically we're at initiative time. That's what's happening. We're rolling initiative. It's still basically initiative as you guys remember it from other games.
I just have to find it on my sheets.
Yep.
So I have a question. I'm already going to throw a wrinkle into your plans, Rossi.
Okay.
I have this thing called surprise attack, and it says on the first round of combat, if you roll deception or stealth for initiative, creatures that haven't acted are flat-footed to you.
Okay.
What does that mean?
It would mean that basically they don't have a chance to avoid stuff like sneak attack.
Cool. Can I do that?
You can attempt to do it. I believe you have to actually make a successful deception or what's the other one? Deception or?
Stealth.
Yeah. Either you go into stealth or you deceive them in some way. Oh, don't look at me. I'm just here. I'm not harmful. Stab. Stuff like that.
I'm just going to do stealth and kind of like duck under her table.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. That's your initiative roll. Don't roll initiative. Roll that and tell me what you got.
I got a 17.
All right. Yeah. You're pretty sure nobody saw you Like you literally like somehow rolled over the table and now you're back down with the fortune teller lady who is quickly descending into a bolt hole. You see that she actually has like a tunnel under her table for possible goblin attack, you guess. She's like literally wiggling down that as you get over.
I'm just gonna look at her and go, shh.
The thing closes. She does not.
Okay, cool.
She did not stick around.
It's usually perception, right, for initiative otherwise?
Usually otherwise it's perception.
Where the heck is perception? This is the joy of using a new sheet for everything.
It's also a new game for just about everybody here. Like Joe and I have read about it a lot, but we haven't actually gotten to run it. So yeah, do try to think nicely of us and as we stumble on through this combat system.
And stumble I will. Let's see. That's a 15 on the die. I do not see perception.
It's going to be under your class DC? Or wait, no, I'm looking at a different website. Sorry.
Yeah, give me a sec.
On my sheet, it's right up there with like your plus to initiative and what your DC is.
I think that's just a +4. Oh, 3 plus 3. So 18.
Ogwish has an 18. Swift, you had a 17?
Yep.
Okay, Varsha, you were saying?
I believe I have a 19 if I'm just adding my perception to a d20.
I mean, you roll the d20, right?
Yeah, I rolled the d20 and then I add my perception, yes?
Yes, I believe that is what we do.
Okay, then I have a 19.
Okay, and Shiro?
I have 15.
Oh, my perception's a +6. Good lord.
Yeah, that I was a little confused as to
20.
why.
So that's a 21 then. Good lord. Sorry, Shiro.
No worries. You in the past have mentioned that I just go quiet a lot. So, perception checks basically are a d20 roll plus wisdom modifier plus proficiency bonus plus other bonuses and penalties you might have. So if you have a high wisdom, your perception is going to be higher. So just as just so you guys know, it's wisdom bonus plus proficiency bonus, which is in your class thing, and then if you have skills that heighten it, those will also add in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
For most people, your perception DC is your total perception modifier plus 10. That's your usual DC to be fooled and stuff. If somebody has to roll higher than that to pull something over you. Not literally, this isn't Skyrim. But all right. So yeah, the goblins are going dead last. They're goblins, so really expecting them to have really great stats, not necessarily the case. But they are rushing into town from two angles and setting things on fire. So that's literally their whole surprise round moment has been throwing flaming things at walls and whatever. Some of them, like 3 or 4 of them, are running to the stables with these weird like halberds with holes in them. You don't know why they have holes in them, but they're running towards the stables and you can hear the panicking horses. First up is Ogwish. A group of 4 of them will be literally running past you.
I am going to attempt to intercept them. How far away from them are? How far away from them am I right now?
Give me a sec. I'm going to put them down so you can have an exact understanding of where they are. That's the thing I dislike about this system. Everybody, find me some goblins. I know I've got them. Why are they not here? I mean, seriously, I've got goblins.
These goblins in my pockets. Where did they come from? I don't know.
Where did they come from? Where did they go? Okay, I'm going to have to use this guy then.
Goblin I go.
Not the weirdest thing we've done.
All right. There's 3 of them right there. You should be able to see them. They're not huge.
Yep, I see them.
They're kind of heading... Yeah, that's where they'll end up their round. This. So yeah, that's the 3 that you're currently dealing with. I know those are kobolds, but I couldn't find the goblins. Sorry.
All right. I am going to... Let's see here.
They're heading for that space south of them, which is where the horses are kept and are obviously freaking out.
So my first action, because it's a 3-action economy, and I get to do this for the first time because it's cool, and I want to do this because it's a monk, I'm going to spend one of my focus points to use Key Rush, which allows me to make 2 times, or basically 2 moves. So I can essentially turn 1 move into 2 moves. So that's what I'm going to do, which should be able to get me right into them.
Alrighty.
And then I'm going to look at them, realize that these are the ones that have fire in their hands.
Fire in one hand, weird looking, kind of like half halberd with holes in it in the other.
This is very rude. These people spent a very long time on this wonderful festival. And then I'm going to spend 2 of my action points to do a Titan Swing. This is an unarmed strike that will allow me to not only deal an additional die of damage, but will push whoever I hit 5 feet back. So I'm going to hit the one directly in front of me and try to knock him into his friend directly behind him.
Okay.
I get a +7 unarmed attacks. 18.
Yeah, that's going to hit.
So that is 2d6 plus 2. So that is 9 points of bludgeoning damage as you see Ogwish like inflates his fist a little bit, almost like how a frog inflates the gullet when they're making their croaking noise. And then just wallops the one directly in front of him with a punch to the chest and hopefully staggers him into his friend.
Okay, there's a rubbery sound when he does this. It's literally like a wah noise.
I imagine it sounds like the Voight dodgeballs when we were growing up, like boink.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant noise. Amazingly, this goblin doesn't immediately just keel over dead. Let me see. Is there any kind of saving throw on this?
Nope. He just gets moved 5 feet back.
He moves 5 feet back. Unfortunately, 5 feet back is not directly into that guy. It's directly in front of that guy. But he is now back there. He moved 5 feet away from you. He's not dead, but he's not happy. No one knew what was going on. 1 second, these goblins were rushing towards, possibly killing a lot of horses. And the next second, some little frog person shows up and punches one, really solidly in the chest. They all kind of stop and one goes, we are goblins. You are food. He food. Everybody food. The one you hit is ugh.
And in an attempt of showing that I am not food, I open my mouth as wide as it will go, which is very, very wide, and then snap it shut and wink at him.
Okay. That was Ogwish's go. Next up in the order was Varsha at 19. So Varsha. I will put some goblins down so you know very seriously where they are. They will not actually be goblins because they can't find the thing. Sure.
I am not actually sure where I am on the map.
You gotta drag your token.
And I were.
You gotta drag your token to the thing.
Initial assault area where those 3 goblin heads are floating. You're up there. Okay. So is Swift for that matter.
I should be on the map there.
Oh my god, your token is so cute.
I'm an adorable rat person.
We are gonna get along famously.
An adorable rat person and an adorable frog person are about to become best friends. I'm here for it. Okay, so there are goblins running in our direction that
There should be 3 of them on the map now. Those 3 heads are just on the map. Those, sorry. The book did not have a way to get rid of those, and I didn't have time.
Okay, I would like to... Wow, I've never done any of these things. It's so exciting. I also have way too many browser tabs open. I would like to pull out from one of my little pouches a Tanglefoot bag and hurl it in their direction. How far away am I? Let me understand this. That has a 25-foot range to hurl it. So I believe I need to move closer, and I would like to throw this Tanglefoot bag. Yeah, I don't know if it may only hit one of them. I'm going to try and throw it at the one in front of everybody.
Okay, the one that's got another one directly behind him?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually have no idea what I roll for this.
I believe it's a ranged attack, isn't it?
I believe that is correct.
Well, I rolled a 6, so I don't think that went well.
Okay, I think you would be adding your proficiency bonus and your agility, I think, because it's a thrown object.
Why is this so...
I'll tell you now, you need to beat a 14.
Yeah, I am not going to beat a 14. That is almost certain.
Okay. Just so we can speed it around for you. Unless you get a 14, we're just going to move to the next stage because you threw it and you didn't get them. That's one action. You still have 2.
Oh, but I had to move, and moving would have been an action.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's correct. You moved. You could still move more because unless you moved your full amount.
No, I did not. Okay, my little rat familiar is going to jump out of my bag carrying another vial of something, and I take it and I look at it, and it's hopefully this isn't a bad idea because this is just what my friendly rat handed me. I'm going to throw some alchemist fire at them.
All right,
we're going to try this again. Okay, I rolled a 9. It's going to be 12, 13. I think that's a 14. It's my proficiency bonus plus my dexterity plus what I rolled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm rolling real bad.
And you got a 14 total?
I think it's a 14 total.
All right. We're just gonna go with it.
Okay.
So you're aiming at the same guy?
Yes.
So he was like, "Ah, they are meat." And then as he ran you through the tackle foot bag, and it just went wide, and he was like, "Huh? That's a dog? We don't like dogs, right?" And as he was trying to ascertain your doggishness, you throw the vial, and it breaks across his chest. Now, what's the damage on that bad boy?
It is 1d8 fire damage, 1 persistent fire damage, and 1 splash fire damage.
Okay. So I'm assuming the splash fire damage will at least hit the guy next to him.
It should. This does not say what the range of the splash is.
We're gonna go with it hits the guy next.
So yeah, I rolled a 1, and I'm going to throw all of these dice in the trash. That's what's happening
Okay. So
right after my turn is over.
1, 2, 3, 3 fire damage to the first guy, 1 fire damage to the second guy. So 2 of them are now on fire. They're like, because it's got persistent damage. I assume that recurs.
Yes, it's 1 persistent fire damage. So I believe that reoccurs every round. I don't know how long.
Yeah, well, we'll work on that. But yeah, right now there's 2 guys like, we're on fire. That's not what I wanted. Goblins aren't like tremendous thinkers for the most part, so it's not a lot of intelligent discussion of being on fire. Just a lot of no, this is exactly the opposite. These things are supposed to be on fire. And that is your turn, which I believe leaves Swift. You're up.
Cool. Do I know which one of those 3 is the one that like shot the arrow at the fortune teller? I guess I wasn't facing them, so I didn't see.
No, they all have bows. It could have been any one of them.
Okay, so the one that was like calling my friend a dog, I'm going to shoot that guy.
Okay.
With my crossbow. Let's see if it works.
He's flat-footed, so he doesn't get dexterity bonuses or anything.
That's a
like
natural 20.
Okay, well, it didn't matter.
For a total of 26.
Yeah, you hit him.
So
that's a crit also.
What happens with crits in Pathfinder?
I believe with a crit, you double the damage, right, Joe?
I believe if you critically attack and succeed with a natural 20, or if the result of the attack exceeds the target's AC by 10 or more, that's also a crit, by the way, something to keep in mind with us, which is you deal double damage. Other attacks, such as spell attacks made with the same, they use athletic skill, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's just double damage. It's not just automatically, it's not just max damage.
Okay.
Although I will also say, you were sneak attacking because you had got him. They were flat-footed. They didn't know you were there.
Yeah.
So I believe your sneak attack is counted.
Yes.
Do I double the sneak attack? Okay.
All
right.
All damage on a crit.
Roll normally, put the numbers together, and then double it.
Oh, that was crappy. So that was 4 for 8. 8 total.
4 all told, like with the sneak attack.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on the D8.
Okay. Well, 8 damage is still pretty good. He didn't see that coming at all. Like one moment they were discussing the relative merits of not being on fire, and he was like, "You both on fire? Nothing happened to me." He's got an arrow like in his clavicle now, and he's like, this bolt, this bad. Don't like.
Nice shot.
And Shiro, I think you are now up. They literally ran by you in their frenzy to like light things on fire. Like you were standing there and they just went right by you. They didn't even stop to like attack you.
And just my luck, I will run forward and come on, roll 20. Let me select my guy. And it's these 2 closest to this. I'm assuming that's a wall that are on fire, and this one.
Yeah, the 2 that are near that circular thing, that's a well. Those 2 are on fire. The third one, the one that's like directly in a straight line from you, is the one that just got hit in the clavicle with an arrow out of nowhere.
Okay. I'm gonna call out to him, "Hey, ugly," and then pull out my flintlock and take a shot.
He doesn't turn because he doesn't think he's ugly.
Fair.
I mean, you can still shoot him. It doesn't change anything.
You just shoot him in the back of the head and says,
"Yeah."
That was very ungood. I rolled a 2 plus 9. And the shot goes whizzing by his head, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's like he's busy dealing with the fact he's got an arrow in his clavicle, and you yell, "Hey, ugly!" And he go, "Which one of you is he talking to?" And when he turns to ask that, because he apparently even with a clavicle in his chest, he still wants to mock his friends, the bullet goes wild over his head. You don't even know if he noticed that you shot at him.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But now it is the goblins' go. First up, the goblins that are down with Ogwish. It's Ogwish, right?
It is Ogwish.
First one steps up. No, he can't step up onto Ogwish. He steps up and throws a tries to brain you with the torch that he's got in one hand. Moves forward, then swings the torch. Hold on, let me get my die. Is an 8 going to hit you?
Nope.
Okay, so that's what he does with the torch. Next up, since that's 2 actions down, he's going to try and hit you with the weird-looking kind of maybe a sword, maybe a hatchet, maybe a clay. You don't know what that thing's.
Now he gets a minus because it's the second attack action he's taking, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand the rules as we go along.
So am I, man. Okay, so he rolled an 18. I think it's a -4.
It's a -4, but it wouldn't hit anyway because my AC is 19.
Okay, well, yeah, but he also has a bonus.
So he'll
just roll an 18, but it's not a high enough bonus to overcome all that. So yeah, he misses. He's like, this is the stubbornest meat.
And it's literally like that scene in like any like kung fu movie you've ever seen where like I'm literally just sitting there with like my quarterstaff like dug into the ground. And I'm just kind of like leaning to the side and like leaning back a little bit, like not making a whole lot of visible effort to avoid it.
The one that's kind of over, like sort of north to everybody else, like, me go kill horses. And he goes that way. He gets to the first horse. And he's going to take a swing at the horse.
Not the pretty ponies.
He manages to not hit a horse.
Good.
An animal with a 10 armor class.
It's the short, stubby arms.
The horse, however, lashes out with its front legs and actually knocks that guy to the ground. You see the horse kick the guy down to the ground. And the other goblin, who's now trying to pick between the strange angry frog or the strange angry horse, pulls out a small crossbow, moves to here, then has to load the crossbow, which is another part of its action, so it only gets one shot, but does shoot at you.
Okie dokie.
Natural 20.
Of course.
That's going to be a 26 total. I'm assuming that hits you?
It hits. My AC is 19.
Okay. You didn't hear any of that. I'm pushing the wrong button. Okay. You take 4 points of damage because I rolled a 1.
Okay.
And 1 plus 3, like 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 doubled is 4. That's how much damage he does with his critical hit. It's like you actually reach out and catch it, but you're not as used to catching arrows. It's not a skill you've been practicing lately. So you kind of catch it, but it still kind of hurts your hand.
Correct. I do not have that feat yet.
Yeah, so you're like, ow. I was doing so well with that. Ow. But that's their go. The other 3 goblins, who are the ones to the north, let's get up there and see what they're up to. Yeah, this guy does turn around, and rather than draw his bow or anything, he just goes straight for Shiro. What's your AC, Shiro?
18.
Okay. You're fine. You're fine again. He takes 2 swings and misses both times. Next up are the 2 flaming guys. Do they take burning damage on your round?
Their round, I think.
So they take it again now because they have persistent?
They take their damage at the beginning of their round.
Okay, so
and the splash, I looked it up, is everyone within 5 feet of my target, whether I hit or miss. So both of them. For
those of you at home, I'm sitting here with the rulebook in my lap and the Archives of Nethys on my second monitor, like cross-referencing everything in between my actions.
I'm trying to do this too, but it's like I also have to look at the stat blocks. And I'm trying
to help so I can take some of the pressure off of Matt.
But this one, who's flaming guy number 1, is still alive. He goes to right there. And he is going to try to poke you with his weird pokey stick.
I don't like that.
And I dropped the die into my own pants. How did I manage that? Okay. 3 plus 8's not going to hit you, I assume.
Thank goodness, no.
Okay.
Because I am the smallest mouse person.
Okay, I don't get it. How is this? I'm going to put this die with the one that you were going to get rid of because.
Okay.
That this one time he rolled a 9.
Dice jails for everybody.
So yeah, he rolls a 9. So he swings twice. The second time he actually has a -4 penalty on his attack, so it's even less. First time he's like, "Urgh!" And you're like, "Ah!" And you jump to the side. And he's like, "Ah!" And that time it isn't even close to you, but your little rat jumps to the side. And he's like, "Why dog so hard to hit?"
Maybe because I'm not a dog. Are you trying to target something else? Is that the problem? You can't see properly?
You're not a dog. What then what are you? You got fur and you're trying to hurt us. You can't be a rat. Rats are good.
She's just like where you really want to say something and you're like thinking it's not a good idea and you just kind of close your mouth and you look your eyes towards the sky and think, Okay.
The other one who's on fire comes up to there, and he's like, "Oh, still on fire, not good, on fire." He seems to be looking around, trying to find something, but he doesn't find it. And that's those three. So, guys, then we go back around to the top of the order in Ogwish.
All right, I am going to start by taking a flurry of blows on the person in front of me. This is one I've already damaged before, right?
Yeah, remember AC 14 to hit him.
Handily with both. That I'm going to double check to make sure they're not crits, though, because I get a +7. So I have a 26, so just miss it, and then a 28.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, it doesn't really matter.
I'm just going to pop him.
Yeah, he dies. But go ahead and roll the damage to see how badly he dies. These are goblins.
So I've just done like 18 points of damage with my fist to his face.
Yeah, he doesn't have a face.
Frog.
Like you punch him, and it's like he's got mush instead of bone, and just it all kind of goes in. You actually nick your hand a little on his teeth. That's like the only part of him that resists. The rest of his head just kind of collapses.
Oh.
So that guy's dead.
Second economy action, I will move over to here. This guy's prone.
The one who was kicked by the horse?
Yes.
Yes, he is prone.
I am going to attempt to make some form of athletics or acrobatics check to keep him down. So I'll do like a flip onto him or something like that to make him like winded or something. So
this is contested, right?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll. Tell me what you get. 16. He beats you.
Okay.
I don't know why he can't roll this when he's making an attack, but you do that. It's a really great move. It's worked a lot. Unfortunately, he'd already rolled away somehow. And you end up landing with both your legs on the ground, and it's like, wow, if he'd been there, that would have worked really great.
And then I just give I stand between, or try to stand between him and the horse.
You were like crouching between him and the horse because you did just do a backflip onto the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're there.
And just kind of like nod at the horse, like, kind of give it the impression that I'm here to help and not attacking it. Like I'm squaring off at the thing that tried to hit it.
Gotcha. The horse, you can't, unless you have animal handling or something. Like I don't remember what the skill's called in Pathfinder, but unless you've got a specific skill thing.
Oh no, I have nature.
All right. Well, let's just say that you don't think it thinks you're hostile, but you're not 100% on that.
That's fine. I'm saving life. That is all that matters.
Varsha, you are up.
So these two goblins are kind of in my face, and
well, one of them's in your face. The other one's kind of standing back a bit, looking around.
How far away is the second one from the first one?
I'd say there's him, a 5-foot gap, and then the other one. So he's at least 5 feet away from him. He's not within 5 feet of him.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look over my shoulder at my pet rat who scrambled up with another thing of alchemist fire, and I'm gonna try to throw it.
Okay.
That's how I play this game, apparently.
Alrighty.
I rolled a 1. This is a different dice.
Okay, the two of us are gonna have to go buy new dice. That's the only way this is gonna work.
I think so. So that didn't work. Oh, but you know what? It does splash damage whether it hits or not.
So you're still going to take some damage, yeah.
Are you going to take damage from it?
No, because I meant to throw it at the one behind the back one.
Gotcha.
So you can decide if I really did that or not.
Well, you didn't hit, so
yeah.
I'm going to actually, for once, you might get lucky here because that means it probably landed in front of him, so it gets the two of them with the splash, so they each take 1 point of fire damage. That also gives them, they already have the persistent fire damage. Does it?
Yes.
Does it renew that?
Oh gosh.
Because we never actually established how long that lasts. Just something we should do. For right now, we'll just assume that if it's on a timer, that refreshes it because it's more fire damage. So it's 2 damage apiece.
It just says 1 persistent fire damage and 1 fire splash damage.
Gotcha. So yeah, you've splashed fire around.
Yeah, it'll say on the actual item itself, unless there is a thing like that. The GM occurs when it usually ends, but most things that are persistent, according to the game rules, last 1 minute.
Yeah. The item description does not say. It just says 1 persistent fire damage and 1 fire splash damage.
So it would be for, unless Matt determines otherwise, 1 minute of 1 minute of game time. So
every
10
time
rounds.
you guys do anything, I was gonna say every time you guys do something, that's effectively 6 seconds. So yeah, we're gonna say 10 rounds. So, but since it hit again, I'll this is a new alchemist fire, so it basically just refreshes.
Okay.
Persistent now will now go another 10 rounds from here. If you keep throwing alchemist fire, these people could be on fire indefinitely. Although one assumes they would die first.
Technically, I think they
if
can try to get rid of the persistent thing which is 2 actions. I think it's assisted recovery.
That they're goblins.
That's why you learn to stop, drop, and roll. Oh my god.
Don't give them advice.
Literally 2 actions. You drop and roll.
But regardless, that's your go, or are you do something else? Because you technically you haven't moved and you haven't acted otherwise. You've got 2 actions.
Yeah.
You can take a careful step away if you don't want to be in melee. Careful step is 1 action and moves 5 feet away.
Oh. Okay, here's a question. I assume that means not
it's a disengage.
An opportunity attack. A disengage. Okay.
It's essentially a disengage.
Then I will do that and disengage. I step back.
Yeah,
careful step. And so here's a question. If I am running on all fours, I have a movement speed of 55 feet.
Okay.
Would dropping down to run on all fours, would that count as an action? Or could I do that and then move my 55 feet as my third thing?
I feel like it could definitely be part of that action.
I think that's a class action or a race action, right? Or not race, ancestry.
A heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that, it's kind of useless to tell people, well, this round you have to drop and then next round you can run. No, that's you for your action, you drop and run. That's fine.
Then I am going to run down here towards Ogwish because he seems to be in the thick of it. I can't get all the way, though. I think I can get about here.
Okay, you do happen to go by that guy.
Oh.
But you don't go within 5 feet of him, so I'm going to say he doesn't get an opportunity.
Yeah, I was trying to keep some distance.
I'm just letting you know you run by him. You see him. You see him going like, All right. So, yeah, that's your go. Swift, you're up.
Okay, so my question, because obviously I shot the guy, and I'm not hiding anymore.
His bad perception means that he did not find you.
Okay,
that was me doing that out. When he's looking around, he's trying to find the person who shot the arrow, but he literally looks right past you. As you're ducking behind the table, and he's like, I don't see anybody.
Well, I'm going to shoot him again.
Okay. Well, it's a different guy because the guy you shot's over fighting with Shiro.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shoot this guy because I'm I don't know what he's looking for, but it can't be good, right?
Okay, yeah, sure, go for it.
Natural 20.
Congratulations. By the way, he did not make his perception check. He did not know you were there, so he's still flat-footed.
Okay, so we're doing sneak attack again, I guess.
Yep.
Let's see if the dice roll better this time. No. Well. 6, so 12 damage.
12 damage. Oh yeah, he drops. He's like going, I'm on fire. That ain't good. I got more on fire. I can't find the bow person. And he actually for a second, as the arrow goes into his chest, he's like, I found the bow person. And then he falls back. Flump.
I know that D&D, you have your action and your bonus action, right?
Mm-hmm. This is just you have multiple.
You have 3 actions that you can use per turn. Okay. And each one has a different economy. So performing an attack is 1 action. Moving is an action. You can double move, which is an action. There are also some things like class or spells that will require you to use multiple actions as well.
Mm-hmm. So can I fire again with the crossbow?
Yes, you're at a -4 penalty for the next shot. And if you use your third action to attack again, I think you're at a -8.
Correct.
Okay, so it's a -4 to whatever my attack roll is.
Yes.
So instead of a +6, it's a +2.
Correct.
Yes,
oops. That's a 5. I was shooting for the one that was after.
So 7 total, or?
No, it's a 5 total. I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you don't get him. It literally just you're stonking that one guy. You're like, yeah. No.
So my question is, for my third action, can I hide again?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Do I need to roll a stealth check, or do you do it?
You roll a stealth check. I roll their perception to see if your stealth check.
Okay, let's do that. That is 13 plus 6, 19.
Okay, well, if I roll extremely well, which has not been my luck so far, having just killed someone, you wouldn't think ducking behind a table again would do it. You would think you'd have to do something else, but apparently, goblins just don't pay attention. because none of them seem to know you're there.
Cool.
This seems
And
right.
that's it.
The only person who is even remotely aware of your presence is the person you just killed.
Cool. And that's it for me.
Yes. Shiro, you're up.
Okay, let's try this again. I've successfully reloaded, so now I'm just gonna point blank fire at the one in front of me.
Already?
I believe in you.
I need to go with everyone to the dice store. I just rolled a natural 1.
Yikes. Okay, yeah.
So Ann and
So
I
does
have.
that
That's
mean-
a day.
Skull dice like I've got.
I was going to say, Ann and I have stolen all of your mojo. I'm sorry.
Nope. That is okay. Okay, so for critical failure, then roll time. What does that mean for me?
You just miss.
Yeah, I believe you miss. I think for gunslingers there might be other rules. I don't remember.
I'm
But
looking at
right
misfire right now.
Yeah, we're not going to look at that. Just
Cool.
we're going to just assume you just fire and like you're literally point blank. You put a gun in this guy's face, you pull the trigger, and nothing happens.
Yeah. So the
You
only
pull
time
the
that
gun back,
that has any additional thing is like I think crafting or some skill checks.
yeah, but you
Mm.
pull the trigger and literally doesn't even fire, and you pull the gun back, and you're like, why? Do I not treat you well? Do I not get you the right powder? Do I not keep you oiled and ready? What are you doing to me? I don't know if you actually do that, but that's the kind of thoughts you're having.
Those are
and
the thoughts I'm having.
the goblin is like, was something supposed to happen?
Rude.
Rude.
He looks honestly confused. It doesn't look like he's talking smack here. It looks like he seriously didn't know what that was. Like, why did you point that at me? What was it supposed to do?
And then, okay, so would
2 actions right now.
right 2 actions. So would pulling out? I have a dagger. Would pulling that out count as a single action?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Interacting with
also
an object is an action. Yeah.
trying to get your
Alright.
gun to work properly to fire again, I think would also take an action. Wouldn't it?
Okay. Yes. I'd have to
Because to
roll.
draw a dagger and attack him is 2 actions. To fix your gun and shoot again is 2 actions. Either way, you're not getting away from him.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to look up what the fixing my gun costs in terms of action economy.
I think it's just an action.
Okay. So I guess at that point, yeah, I'm just gonna have to try and clear it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's an action. It's not you don't have to make a roll to do it. It's simply
Mhm.
an action. It's
Okay.
like reloading, essentially.
Okay, and then let's just try and fire again. Let's see if it works this time. Okay, now that one is a 22.
That hits. His armor
Wow.
class is a 14.
Finally. Okay.
So he's got that look on his face, like, "What was that supposed to do something?" And you're like, you manage to pull you pull the hammer back. You're like, you get it reloaded, and
Yeah,
you just
this.
and then you fire. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay.
Very likely that this is the last time that goblin does anything.
A 2.
A 2? Well, actually that is enough because he took a lot of damage from before. Oh, he didn't get hit by the fire, did he?
No,
He did
No.
get hit by the
was
fire. He
far
got hit
away.
in the clavicle by
No.
me, but my roll was crap.
Yeah. So yeah, he's still up, but he goes right in his face. He actually gets Wile E. Coyote face. Like there's the gunpowder is everywhere on his face, and his hair's blown back, and he's like he looks very surprised and not particularly pleased by that development. So yeah, that's what happens. He doesn't die because he didn't take the damage that I thought he took, but he is still there. I believe that's your round.
Oh yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Okay. I'm having a hard time deleting the one that Anne killed. There he goes. Okay.
Killed him so hard he can't go anywhere.
Yeah. So now we're at top of their round. There's the guy who is currently in hand-to-hand range with Ogwish. He tries to hit you with the torch again. Your armor class is a 19, you said?
That is correct.
He does not hit. He's like swings the torch, and you do like some kind of Zen master step to the side. You don't even actually step to the side. You literally kind of like pull up on your pole and just swing around it. And then like so when he attacks, you're like in the swing, and then you just land where you were, and you're like, and he's like, ah. I did a gesture there, and it's like you're like gesture, and it's like they don't know. They can't hear that. But yeah, that's his first attack. His second attack, he tries to go with the chopper at a pretty big penalty. Yeah, he's not going to hit with that either. He's so mad that he drops everything and goes, ah!
I just kind of cock my head to the side.
No, this is actually a thing. He did something. It actually does something. So you need to, I believe it's I forget the save in this game. There's 3 of them in Pathfinder,
There's fortitude, reflex, and will. If it's a spell,
Yeah,
it's likely
right? It's will. Yeah, you need to make a will saving throw.
26.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, whatever the magic was trying to do, it was probably trying to make you scared, or like you feel it intellectually. You understand that was supposed to do something to you, but it's like, why would I allow it to? That's ridiculous. So yeah, nothing happens. He is completely ungoblined. He is no longer knows what to do. That's his whole go. The one that's up there sees this rat person run past and is like, "You dog person!" and throws.
Not a dog. Ugh.
He throws his hatchety / palbity, like whatever that is, thing at you, and isn't going to hit anything unless your armor class is a 6.
Thankfully, no.
That's just how bad he rolled. Okay. For his next action, he will draw his bow and attempt to shoot you with that. Is a 10 going to hit you?
Nope.
Then that's his go, because he used his
And
action.
here I thought my AC was really bad, but maybe
Luckily for you,
maybe I'm okay.
Luckily for you, I'm rolling terribly right now.
Like all of us. Well,
The only time I roll well for these things is when it's like something like Joe does a cool move and they roll extremely well to get out of the way of it. But that's it. Yeah, that was him. He can't even move now because he used his one action to draw the bow and then to fire it, and he didn't even hit with that. So that's those two. There's 2 guys up there. That guy already missed Shiro, I think. Did he already attack you, Shiro? No, you shot him.
No, I shot him first. Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to you because there's one that's now aware that Swift is in the area, but does not know where Swift is because this person's perception checks are just limo juice. They're just perfect for a goblin. So he's wandering around. He wanders up here looking for Swift and hasn't found her yet. He's like, "Where'd you go? Who are you? What? Why is everybody not dead and being eaten?" And that's him. That he's trying to find somebody. This one will now attempt to kill Shiro by stabbing you with a thing.
To be fair, they are goblins.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Does a 10 hit?
It does not.
Okay. Yeah, he swings. He misses. He tries to swing again because what else is he going to do? But while that would have been a 14, he -4 and doesn't hit. Okay, for his third round, he's actually going to move away. I believe you get an attack of opportunity. I don't know if you do because it depends on the class and features you have. But he's over there. He moves to there.
So for an attack of opportunity, since I haven't had the chance to reload, I'd probably just wing at him, right?
I mean, you could just hit him with the gun or something, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's guys like just basically just try and give him a whack with the barrel of the gun.
Okay, we'll consider that a bludgeoning weapon for 1d4.
Okay, and so that one would that be d20 plus strength this time since it's a melee?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
More importantly, it's an improvised weapon, so if you don't have proficiency with that kind of thing, it's just a straight up, your strength, and you don't get your proficiency with it.
Okay, let me just double check. All right, we're just going to swing for the fences, and that is I rolled a 13, and I have +0 for strength, so I think I miss him on his way out.
Yeah, he's got you need a 14 to hit him. So he does actually manage to move out of the way, and you swing to pistol whip him, but he manages to move. He gets out to range, which may not be the smartest thing because it's the person he's fighting has a gun, but he just seems to really just want to get away from that loud, angry thing that got him in the face. I believe that's all of them. Oh no! Well, did you kill that guy already, Joe?
Nope.
No,
not yet.
So he's still there. He is still there. Didn't he use a yell thing at you?
He used all 3 of his. He tried to hit me twice and then yelled at me.
All right, so that's their go is over, and Aguish, you are now up.
Well, I'm going to go with the classic flurry of blows on this guy in front of me. 14 and 15.
Both hit.
Okay. 12 points of damage.
Yeah, he drops. You cave in his skull. Like it didn't help that the horse trampled him before.
Yeah, I was going to say the horse gets the assist on that one. And then I am going to 15, 25. And then give the aid action to my rat friend because I can.
Okay. What does that do?
Whenever the ally is about to use an action that requires a skill or attack check, they get a bonus to it. Give me 1 second. +2 circumstance bonus.
Alrighty. Well, and it happens to be her go.
Oh, well.
Marsha, you're up.
I'm helping you throw by giving you encouragement. I'm rubbing your shoulders like, you can do it. I've seen you do this. You can do this.
Okay. Well, I will look over my shoulder to see what my little rat has pulled out of my bag, and yeah, okay. Alchemist fire at this guy. I've switched dice. We're gonna see how it goes.
Remember to add an extra +2.
That's 12, 15, 17.
That hits.
I hit a thing.
Fire.
This is what you get for calling me a dog over and over. I rolled a 6 for damage. 6 fire damage.
+2 because it's +1 for persistent and +1 for splash.
I don't know if splash hits the main target, actually.
Splash does not hit the main target. It hits anybody that's within 5 feet of the target.
Okay. Nobody's within 5 feet of him, so he's just 6
he'll-
+1.
Six up front, and
the
then
ones on his
one
the ones on his
persistent.
turn. So yeah, he's on fire and he does not like it. And he's like, "This was supposed to be our day to burn things."
No, maybe just don't burn things.
You're
It's
a
very
dog.
rude. I am not a dog.
Only a dog would say, "Don't burn things."
You have 2 more actions.
Is Anguish hurt?
Very little. I've taken 4 points of damage. I'm fine.
Agwish tried to catch an arrow and then remembered he hadn't actually gotten to that class yet. So he's like, "Ow! Dang!
I have not read that tome yet.
Curse my powerful reflexes."
My attempted powerful reflexes. I'm going to. Well, you're here and I'm here. I'm going to attempt to treat wounds on you. I have battle medicine, so I can do this in combat as an action.
Yay!
The medicine check is usually 15, and I rolled a 15, so that would be 15 plus 7, which is a really high number. I don't know. I can't count that high.
I'm going to say it's successful. 15 plus 7 is 22.
And that I've never done this before. A success is 2d8 hit points,
Okay, roll 2d8.
which is going to be like way more than you need. 6 hit points.
I am back to full.
Yes, I just sort of slap a poultice on something, and
You have the strange compulsion to try and drink it, but you don't, and she manages to get it on your hand, and you feel the healing begin to set in.
If I'm not supposed to drink it, why did you make it smell like peppermint?
it's very pleasant. It's soothing. It's cooling. I mean, just don't catch arrows. Really.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out, and I'm not sure if I can do this in one action. Pull out and load my hand crossbow, but
You can do
have the
that.
actions to shoot it. So I'll just have it loaded for next round in case I need it.
Yeah, I'll count the idea of drawing it and putting a bolt in it as one interact with action. Interact, yeah. So that's fine.
So I am done. I'm staying here with Anguish.
Okay. I believe then that is Swift's go. Swift, you are currently hiding under a table while a goblin who really should have seen you already has no idea you're around.
I'm going to peek out from under the table, giggle, and fire another shot at the dude.
Alrighty.
That is a 16.
That hits. So it's also a sneak attack because he does not know you're there due to these wonderful perception checks.
Pay 6. Oh, 12.
Okay, yeah. He's like, he's gotta be here some. Turns, sees you, and he's like, oh! And then thunk! And he's trying to get the word out, but he can't because you've literally got him right in the throat. And he's like, and his last act is to point at you as he falls down.
And then I'm going to, let's see. And the other one's up there with the...
Yes,
there's 2 of them.
His head's on fire. Like the one of them is up there, and his head's literally on fire from being shot point blank in the face. Not enough to hurt him, but enough to be like ridiculous. The other one is actually literally on fire.
Okay.
Like someone threw alchemist fire at it. It is on fire.
I'm going to, to about there. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shoot that guy.
Alrighty.
The one with the head on fire.
Gotcha.
And it's a -4, yeah?
That is correct.
Natural 20, so 16.
That's going to hit.
Yeah.
Yes, it
18.
hits.
Do I get sneak attack on that or no?
Yes. He didn't know you were there.
That's another 5 damage. No, wait, that was a natural 20. Well, okay, is it a does it still count as a crit if it's a -4?
Yes. A 20 is always a crit.
Okay, so it's 10 damage.
Yes. He is currently like, he was about to say something like, "I'm not scared of you, stupid." Boom! And like literally an arrow's coming out his shoulder blade. He isn't dead, but like this thing's poking out of the front of him, and he's like, "Why?"
And I'm not even good about their hiding because I don't have any actions left, so we're fine.
Okay. Yeah, he has a very small chance of not noticing you, but no, he actually does finally figure it out. Like, there's an elf here. Okay, and
I
that's
just
your go.
wave.
Shiro, you're up.
Okay, let's get it right this time. First action is going to be to reload,
Gotcha.
and then we're just going to take another shot.
All right. That's your first attack, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
13, because it's painful.
Total?
I rolled a 2.
All right.
No, sorry, 4.
So 13 still, or does that make it 15?
No, so that was 13 total.
All right. So yeah, that misses.
And yeah, then we're just going to reload one more time, get ready for the next round.
All right. It's a decent shot, and if he hadn't gotten hit in the clavicle with an arrow and like then got hit like literally going through his chest with another arrow and turned, like you fire and it just misses his head because he's turning to see who just shot him, and he's like, "Oh no!" And you're like,
I'm just gonna like go, "I believe in you."
"Of course you
Thank
believe in him. He's
you.
manifestly real. He's right there. He shot at me, I think.
Manifestly seems like a really complicated word for a goblin.
It's in my book."
Oh, okay.
He like stops and like holds up a book. "Wait, is this an action to do this?"
Can I have that?
Right. That's what happened. Sure. But that's Shiro, that's your go, right? So we now have 2 goblins left. First up is the one in the corner who's been having a really hard time. He's going to try to shoot the person who's now shot him twice. Is a 16 going to hit you?
My armor class is 17.
Oh yeah, he's like thwonk, and just goes wild. He's trying to shoot you with like an arm that's like not really working because there's an arrow coming out of his shoulder. He's like, thwonk, doesn't hit you. But hope springs eternal. He's going to try again with a -4 penalty this time. It'd be a 16. So no, second one doesn't get you either. Now he's going with a -8 in that total dex. So yeah, he fires 3 times and doesn't hit you 1. That's his go. He does everything. The one who's on
kind of do
fire.
a cool dance to avoid all of the.
The one that's on fire actually decides, enough of this, and starts moving and keeps moving and keeps moving. He gets to there. That's all his actions turned into moving.
We don't get any attacks of opportunity or anything.
Nobody was in melee with him.
Oh, okay.
He gets to there. That's as far as he can run. You hear this. There's sounds of combat from other parts of town, and the sounds are like kind of fading. So you feel like in other places, other people were doing things. So, but that's his go. And Aguish, you're up.
Excellent. All right, so let's see how many things we are away from this person. Curse my small legs. All right, I'm gonna move, which will put me here. Actually, do I want to move once and take a shot with the short bow? Yeah, 25. Then I will take out my short bow and take a plunk at him. 17?
Yeah, that'll hit.
7 points of damage.
How much? He was taking a point for the recurring damage,
And
Yes.
a point from fire at the beginning of his turn. Yeah.
Yeah. He is still alive, but not doing very well. Like next round, if he doesn't decide to stop and put his fire out, he will probably die.
Taking the weapon out and firing is a single action, or is it taking out the weapons in action? It's 2 actions.
Interact with an action, interact with an object, and then fire. So that's 2 actions.
All right, so then I am out of actions.
Gotcha. Varsha, you're up.
Okay, so I'm seeing if I can get range to him. So I double move, so I'm not dropping on all fours and presumably dropping my crossbow. And
Theoretically,
I'm going to
have to drop it, but you would be like grinding it into the ground, which isn't good for crossbows.
Yeah, that seems unhealthy. So I'm just going to stay on my 2 feet, and I'm going to try and fire. I rolled a 16 to hit. That's 16 plus the 3, I think.
That hits. It'll be a
Okay.
19, which is going to hit him.
And that is 4 points of damage.
Describe how you kill him.
I'm like, stop calling me a dog. Oh my god. And I fire the crossbow at him. Just a tiny little hand crossbow with really little bolts. It's not impressive at all. And it hits him like between the shoulders as he runs off.
And he stops and is killed by a dog. Thump.
Ah.
He is dead.
Is anyone else hurt? Are we out of initiative? I guess I should
No,
ask you.
there's one guy.
Left.
There's one guy.
There's one guy yet. Okay. Well, that's my turn.
Yes, but it's not Swift's turn. Swift, you're up.
Yeah. So the one that's left, I'm just gonna like give him another like wave, but like that wiggly finger kind of snotty wave, and then I'm just gonna like lift my crossbow and fire at him. That's a 16.
A 16 will hit.
But it's not sneak attack. I'm assuming.
No, he knows you're there now.
He totally knows I'm there now, so it's just 1d8. And that's a 7.
He is still up, but he's really not having a good time. It's like his has been the death of a million small hurts, not the. So yeah, he's like, Now
and
another
I'm
arrow
going
in
to
him.
do the same thing. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna fire again.
Okay, -4 this time.
That's a 12.
12 miss.
Okay. And it's -8.
Yeah.
I tried anyway. Oops, that's an 11. Even with a 19. Yep. Dang. Okay. Anyway. No, wait. It's a -8, right?
That's correct.
So I'm a +6, so it's 19 -2, 18, 17.
17 hits.
Okay, cool. 6 points of damage.
Okay. I will give you the same opportunity to describe how you kill this goblin.
That second arrow goes wide, like goes past him, and she looks supremely frustrated and just kind of like gives her crossbow a look and then lifts it again and goes, "Eat bolt," and fires it again and hits him in the face.
He actually opens his mouth to say something, and the bolt hits him in the head, and he drops. He's like, dead before he gets to make a comment.
Okay.
And now you are out of initiative. There's nobody else around you. There's some other fighting going on that you can see or hear. There's a woman in like a strange outfit that is. Shiro recognizes it, but none of you do. That is just killed 3 goblins with a sword. And she is like standing there, kind of like wiping the blood off on the sword, like taking the sword and like kind of going like to the side with it to get the blood off of it. Then she takes a cloth out and kind of just drags it across the blade to get the rest of it off, and is like sliding it back into her belt. It's a slightly curved, very long blade. She has another sword like it that is shorter, but she didn't even draw that one. And there's people there's guards stabbing those weird rat dog like things with spears over there, and a couple of horses are trampling things. But
are there any other like immediate big bad guys around?
Nothing else at this point. The major attack seems to be over.
Is anyone hurt? I'm
quite a few people are hurt. There's
there's
like 10 or 15 people who have taken some kind of injury.
I will go to anyone who looks like they're injured and start doing treat wounds on them.
And while my rat friend is doing that, I will go and start doing cleanup. I will grab the goblin bodies and consolidate them and sort of like cover them with like a burlap or something like that.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the fortune teller's table and like knock on her little door and go, "Hey, it's all over. You going to read my fortune?"
You don't get a response.
Come on. I got silver.
They're just making it up, Swift. They're not telling your future. She yells this just over her shoulder while she's working.
But I got the Ogwin card from the other guy, and it was really cool. I want to know if she has an Ogwin card too.
What's an Ogwin?
Wait, am I saying your name wrong?
Yeah, Ogwish.
Ogwin. He's got an Ogwish card, and I want to know if she has an Ogwish card too.
And as you're saying this, I want you to make a perception check, Ogwish.
Okay. Perception is +6. Dirty 20.
Okay, on the table across from where she's standing, would be kind of in like if you see there's like a bunch of fruit stuff and all that where that is. The table over here, I will actually put her at the table so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, right there. As she was saying all this, she had moved around to just look around. That you look at the table next to her, and there is a card that looks remarkably like you.
Huh. I walk over.
And you look at it for a long time. Like, here's a question: how much does Ogwish know about his family background?
Like nothing. He was raised in the monastery, so like he literally doesn't really know his family background aside from where they're from.
Okay, you for a second you're like, is that me? But there's a kind of hardness to the face that no human would recognize, but you do. This is a Gripply who has seen a lot. He has a very cold, penetrating stare, and he's got a small scars along the side of his head that you don't have.
See, it's you.
Is anybody like, so the person who owns this is not here?
Yeah, there's another trapdoor that's like on this side, and he clearly went down to wherever the trapdoor stuff is. In fact, since you rolled
apparently
so well,
been through this before.
since you rolled so well in the perception, I will let you know that you faintly hear the sounds of what sounds like amorousness coming from down in there.
I don't even say anything, and how much do I think this card is like worth value wise?
I mean, it's part of a deck. You look at it, and the deck is actually, you're like, this is from the east. This isn't from here. Like this is a fairly rare set of cards. You've never seen a deck like it, but it is clearly of Xeon manufacture. It is made by the same people that actually, if Shiro was to come up, Shiro's people are the people who made this.
And I will warn you, in about 2 seconds, she's going to try and swipe it. Unless
I'm not swiping it. I'm literally taking the whole deck and I am depositing money. I'm just trying to figure out how much money Oswish is leaving behind.
Can I do just a internal check to see how much this is worth?
Sure. I don't know if there must be some kind of appraisal skill. I don't know all the skills in Pathfinder. I'm sorry, guys. But if you don't have that, then just make me a straight up perception check.
Actually, I have an occultism score.
Okay, go for it. If you want to use occultism.
18.
These cards are meant to be used as part of a divination ritual. And as you're like working that out in your head, you're like holding the deck in your hand, and you realize one of the cards has actually got something near it. And you split the deck with your fingers the way like an actual dealer would.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually a piece of paper, and the paper says, "Keep it."
I pocket it. Is this so out of curiosity, is this a 22 card deck or a 54 card deck?
It has 72 cards.
Interesting. All right. I still leave 5 gold in a little sack, and I throw it through the trapdoor.
Okay. This much you know from your occultism roll. The use of cards in predictive rituals is a uniquely Varisian thing. This card was made in Xeon, but it was not made for them.
Huh.
It was made by somebody, an artisan there, but brought here. And that's unusual. It would have likely been made as a gift.
Huh. I'm just going to go ahead and pocket that then.
Are you still trying to steal it from him, Swift?
No, I'm going to just kind of nonchalantly stroll back over to the other table. Is the crystal ball still on it?
Yep.
I'm going to swipe that.
There's a note under that.
Uh-huh.
Put it back. It was my mother's.
I put it back.
All right, I am down to 10 gold.
All right. So what else are you guys going to do?
I'm also going to go over to the horse that got attacked and make sure that
it's already there's already somebody there, stroking it, going, good boy, Deathhammer.
And Deathhammer did a very fine job.
Deathhammer's a good horse.
Very good horse.
His name is Timothy.
Not
you hear a woman crying over the thing. He's Deathhammer now. He hammered that guy to death with his feet.
To be fair, it's a better name and a better story.
His name is Timothy. My father named it.
Okay, Timothy the Deathhammer. Compromise. And I just kind of stroke the mane a little bit. You're a good comrade in arms. Thank you for your assistance. And then I move on.
Swift is going to look around.
You guys are doing this kind of stuff, a group of people have started approaching the area, and one of them, you've seen him around town, and he was going to be doing the opening speech. It's the Mayor Deverin, and he looks shocked and taken aback, but also very grateful. He has that look on his face as he goes, "My friends, you've helped save the town."
Cool. Hang on a second. I'm going to go look for the body of that one goblin that had the book.
They're all in a pile, so you can easily find. I'm sure you can easily find his body.
Is the book still there?
Yeah, there's a book there.
Can I take it?
Do you want to take it without them seeing you have it, or do you care? Go ahead and make a stealth check, I guess. Oh, deception. Do you have deception, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go ahead and make a deception check.
We have reached the part of the campaign where Anne steals everything that isn't bolted down.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out what number that is. If that's it, okay, that is a 16. I'm like, is that a 13 or a 16? So that's a 16 deception. 21.
Okay, 21. Of the people there, the woman that who was using swords earlier clearly sees you, sees you do it, notices it, is completely not fooled, and doesn't say or do anything. Everybody else seems completely oblivious.
Do I notice her noticing me?
She makes sure you notice her noticing you.
I wink and stick it in my pocket.
Okay. The mayor is continuing on with his, thank you speech. He's been doing it for like a minute now while all that was happening.
He goes back over to listen to the thank you speech.
He's like, I can't believe that this happened. I mean, how did they even know that the festival was happening? What would drive them to attack it?
Possibly a large gathering of people making lots of noise. Just a thought.
But the goblins there's no goblins for miles anymore. How would
you guys have like flyers or something?
I mean, yes, we had flyers, but they would have had to come into town to see them. And we probably should have noticed some goblins in town. It's not like they're stealthy.
Maybe there were 3 goblins in a trench coat hanging around and you didn't
So
notice?
the one with the swords is with the mayor?
She's in the group that he's in. You get the sense that she is important in town, but does not necessarily like normally associate with the mayor. Like it's more like her family might be important. You don't really know exactly who she is.
Noticeably competent in battle, though, right?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Ogwish will walk up to her and just a very low, sweeping bow. I am not from here. You seem to be from here and are very much capable of handling yourself. What do you make of the goblins?
Bags.
I turn around and go over to the goblins' bodies and start looking through their bags.
I don't know much about goblins other than that they attacked. She has a very raspy voice. And since Varsha's here, Varsha, this is what somebody who's had smoke inhalation in their life sounds like. A couple of years back, they burned my house and killed my mother, apparently. And I've been training since then.
Who is tightening a bolt or something?
That's Matt.
I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find her name because I can never remember it. Well, I know her last name. Her last name is Kaijitsu. She will tell you that. Her and her father are the last 2 members of their family. That family helped found Sandpoint. They actually come from the same place as Shiro.
So is she the mayor's daughter? Or?
No, she is not related to the mayor in any way. But think of it like there's the mayor, and he's the representative of the town's government. She's more like a representative of the town's elite. Like she's like a noble.
Okay, so she's like one of the people that owns the city, or related to the person that owns the city?
Like her father like owns half of the place.
Would the name Kaijitsu stand out to me like before this, or do I just recognize her equipment from being where I'm from?
Her equipment, her look. I mean, she is a woman. If you saw her at home, you would not be surprised. She looks like somebody from your home village, even, except obviously rich and powerful. But also somewhat iconoclastic. Like if you saw her at home, you'd be like, why isn't she wearing robes? Why is she wearing pants? Why does she have like leather armor on? That's not typical for a noblewoman to be doing.
Can I go up to her and say that?
You can. Go ahead and roleplay it out, man. What do you say to her?
Just gonna stroll up casually and say, I know that you're not from here.
I was born here. And she says it in Xian. She says it in the. I am certainly from here.
But is your family from here?
Obviously not. Clearly, we moved here. Like I. What do you want? You want me to like apologize for something? I don't know why we're here. My father and my mother came here when I wasn't even born yet. I don't know why. If you want to ask my father, he's up in that mansion. And she like hooks her thumb in the direction of the, where the rich people live. Keep in mind, it's the rich people of Sandpoint, which is not like super rich. It's just rich enough to be in charge of, to have influence in this little town.
I'm always looking forward to meeting people from the old homestead. Any tips to get in with your father?
Knock on the door. He doesn't answer when I knock, but he might for you.
And at this point, is what's her demeanor like, or can I ascertain if she just wants me to go away?
She's not actually aggressive, but you get the sense that she really doesn't want to have to try and defend herself from any kind of statement about her not living the right way. Like you definitely don't think she's down for any sort of discussion of that sort. That's basically all you're really getting from her right now. She doesn't seem hostile. She seems tired, not physically tired, just tired, like that way you get when you've had to deal with something for a long time.
Sorry, my mic cut out for a second. I was just gonna say at that point,
She's got she has 2 streaks of white hair at the front of her head. The rest of her hair is jet black, and it's tied back in a very practical knot. Like it's braided to a point, and then very practical. None of it is too fancy. In addition to the 2 swords that she has that are of typical make, she's got a sword that's from, there's the 2 TN swords she has, and then she's got one that's like clearly made here, and that one she didn't use during the fight. Otherwise, she's wearing like red leather armor. It's got like gold in certain places of it. She looks at you again and goes, "You can call me Ameko." Is it like, if there's something you actually want to talk about, or do you really want to talk about my father? Because it's not a subject I really like discussing.
Well, my name is Shiro, and like I said earlier, I like looking and talking to people that look and sound like me.
Well, you won't find many of us around here. I think there's some TN traders in Magnamar if you end up going that way. Or my brother. You might see my brother. I don't know where he is, but I haven't seen Pseudo in years. I don't know what he's been up to since his girlfriend ran away or died or whatever happened to her.
Why do you think she ran away?
My brother, his girlfriend was the ward of the last priest who lived in this town, and the dude was really popular, and everybody loved him, and everyone, talks of how great he was, which always makes me think that's something wrong. Just personally, if everybody likes you, you're probably doing something wrong. But also, like when the goblins came in last time and burned the church, the one we're supposed to be replacing this week, he died in that attack, and she was gone. No one ever saw her again. So either they dragged her off to some place and did who knows what to her, or I don't know, maybe she was like, I want to get away from this little town and go someplace that's better. I can totally relate to that. Either way, though, my brother lost his mind and went off looking for her, and I have no idea. Every so often I get a letter, so I know he's still alive, and that's basically it. Now you have pretty much heard the entire sordid story of the Suzuma family. So all the kaijutsus in one place. Do you drink?
I was just about to ask you the same.
I need to get drunk. Who wants to come back to my bar? And the mayor's like, he's been talking this whole time about how great everybody is, but you guys were, obviously more fixated on her because she seems to be the only one in town who actually knows what they're doing. So she's like, I'm gonna, Dever, I'm gonna take them to the bar unless they don't want to go. You can come along and give them the key to the city or whatever it is you're gonna do. That would be great. We should give them the key to the city. I'm gonna be right back. And he runs off.
The key to this.
Did I discover anything while reading? Did I discover anything while reading through the bags of the goblins while this exchange was going on?
Basically, it wouldn't have taken very long to do that. They had some silver pieces, which is unusual. That would be like, goblins with silver pieces. Why do they have this? You find about 35 silver in total, so 3.5 gold's worth of silver. One of them had a scroll on it, and the scroll, it's completely unreadable unless you read Goblin, but it's got pictures, and one of the pictures is of like a deformed, horrible looking, vaguely maybe female shape with like scars all over it, like a giant distorted like abdomen with just all these slash marks on it.
Does anybody read Goblin?
How do we?
Amiko is like, do goblins have a written language to read?
I hold up the scroll above my head. Apparently.
Yeah, you got me. I've never seen them write anything. I didn't know they could.
We might have to take one alive next time.
I mean,
How do I know what my languages are?
You could have chosen them if your intellect is high enough.
Oh, okay.
I think you get 1 language per intellect, and I haven't actually picked mine yet. I forgot, but I don't think I would know Goblin.
I definitely wouldn't know Goblin.
Yeah, my int is +0, so I'm good.
No Goblin for me.
All right, I guess we're going to a bar then.
While we've been having this conversation, how do the townsfolk look like? Have I managed to like help people, or are there other people coming out to like
You've treated several
help
people
with healing and things?
The priest who is replacing the old priest was also out there doing his best. He actually stopped you and says, "Thank you so much. I will admit that I've been uncharitable about the horrible thing that follows you, but you're all right. I feel very badly that I called you a necromancer who profits off of the deaths of the living. That's clearly not you. I apologize profusely."
Thank you. That's very big of you. Thank you very much. And she's like, it's one of those things. Like, you want to, say something and maybe like yell at someone, but trying to be polite because he is making positive steps. I just want to make sure everyone's okay if I can.
Yeah, I'm totally. The whole town will, of course, hear about this. We're very appreciative.
Thank you.
As you guys make your way to the tavern that Mikio apparently owns, and she gets in. She takes a lute type device off of her back. It's very long. It's not like normal hand lute sized. It's like a solid 4 feet long, and it almost looks like a paddle, but with strings across the front of it. And she hangs that up on like a hook near the door, and she shrugs out of her various swords and knives, which she has a lot. The 3 swords you saw, in addition to that, she's got like 4 or 5 knives on her person, all of which she is taking off and putting in various places around the bar.
While we've walked over to the bar, Varsha.
Welcome to the Rusty Dragon. It's my place. Get anything you want. It's on me. It's the least I could do, considering you helped save the town. Deverink's going to come back, and he's going to want to make a big fuss about it. And that's, if you guys want a big fuss, that's great. But if you just want to get something to eat or drink, just go ahead.
While they've been walking over, Varsha has like pulled out her little rat who's been, sitting on her shoulder, kind of rummaging through her backpack, and is sort of petting it. What a good girl you are, Maisie. Oh, you did so good back there. Great choices on the potions.
Actually, I'm going to say right now, there's only 2 inns in Sandport. It's up to you guys if you're staying at the White Deer or the Rusty Dragon.
I mean, the Rusty Dragon seems to be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, so you may have already seen her a couple of times then, because this is her place. If you're staying here, you would have seen her.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll say that this is where I've been bedding down. But I'll go over to my my rat friend, and your companion is very smart.
She really is. She is. And you just there's kind of a proud mom vibe. Aww.
And thank you very much for healing my hand.
The rat is washing her face. Like, if you've ever seen a rat do the face washing with their hands thing, the rat's doing that. And occasionally, like, some fur comes off, and the rat's like, but otherwise, just acting like a rat. Occasionally, you notice a little bit of a green spark to its eyes, but then it's gone.
So Swift is gonna grab an ale, because that sounds good, and then sit down at a chair or a table or whatever, and kick up her feet and pull out that book that the goblin had and flip through it and see if it's anything particularly interesting.
It's an old prayer book.
Huh.
Random.
Does it say what it's praying to?
It is a prayer book to Iomade, the inheritor, who is the main goddess of the area. She is the, for lack of a better word, the heir to Arodin, who is basically the chief deity of humankind. He died mysteriously fairly recently, and there's been a big shakeup throughout the divine, for lack of a better word, the divine landscape of the entire world. Not just Varesia, but every place in the world. And I should know the name of this world backwards and forwards, because I played Pathfinder once so long, but I can never remember the name of it. So for right now, the world. We'll look it up later. Regardless, that caused the Church of Arodin obviously collapsed. A lot of his followers went to Iomade. Some of them went to Sarenrae, and others of them just are still worshiping Arodin, even though he is not responding because he's dead. But this is from the Church of Iomade, which is the church that was being replaced. Both the local people mostly follow Iomade, and that new church was going up because the old church was burned down. The old church was the Church of Iomade as well. And as you're looking at this, you realize this is a prayer book from that church. And you know it is because it's signed. And now I have to go find the name of the guy who signed it because he's been dead for a while, so it's not on the front page. While I'm doing that, talk amongst yourselves about what you guys are doing, so I'm not waiting there.
Varsha's probably getting, food and maybe some tea if that is on offer.
Yeah, I think Abrish is doing the tea thing too. He doesn't really do the alcohol.
It was quite a fight. We should all replenish ourselves.
Yeah, replenish.
Heroes grabbed a drink and sat next to Swift with a high five and a thanks for saving him earlier.
Okay,
Anna absentmindedly holds up her hand for the high five without looking up.
Yeah, the name of the book is Ezekiel Tobin.
Hey,
He was the former priest.
Any of you guys know who Ezekiel Tobin is?
Mako snaps her head and looks up. Why?
I got his book.
Where? She is literally in the middle of giving people the drinks they order, and she just stops to kind of look more directly at you. Is that the thing you picked up before?
Yeah, Goblin had it.
Yeah, I watched you take it off his corpse.
Yeah.
Can I see that?
Maybe it'd be some kind of dirty book or something.
Can I take a look at that?
Yeah, sure. Hand it over.
She flips through it a little bit. Weird. This is just a common prayer book from services. Not that I went to the services for Ioma Day. We worship Tian gods. But yeah.
I mean, it's got his name scribbled it, so I figured is it his?
It might have been. Or maybe it was a church book. The goblin had this?
Yeah. So where can I find this Tobin guy?
In the ground.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's been dead since the raid. That's weird. That is really weird. I do not know where he would have got this.
So the mayor said there weren't any goblins for miles. Do you know if that's true? These goblins had to come from somewhere.
Well, I mean, there were some over in Thistletop, but after they raided us, a lot of adventurers going up and burned the place and made sure there was nothing alive there.
Where is the body interred of the one who owned this book?
Pieces. The goblins people saw him get skewered, multiple spears, but they took him with them when they left.
That would make where they got the book from likely then. All right.
Wait, so they took him? They didn't kill him and leave the body?
No, they took him. It was always one of the weirder things.
Where'd they take him to?
I mean, I was 12. And as she's trying to continue, you hear a noise and get out of my way. And one of the people who is leaving the bar is gets smacked with a stick, and he's ah! And this elderly Tian man comes walking in and stares very fixedly at Miko, who's hello, father. What can I do for you at the Rusty Dragon today?
Hi. And
he does not even turn to look at you.
And then I turn back to her and go, so yeah, do you know where they would have dragged him off to?
He starts saying something in Tian. I assume that means that Shira would understand it.
Yes. Okay. What do you want me to roll anything?
No, if you speak Tian, which you do, you'd understand this. So he's not being complicated. He just doesn't want to speak Varisian or any local language because he thinks the people here are scum. He says, are you done dirtying yourself with this ridiculous exercise? She's she literally has her forehead in her hand, and she's kind of squeezing it over and over again, just trying to get her head to stop pounding. Father, I haven't taken a thing from you since I was 14 years old. I don't know what you think coming in here. I am trying to stop you from shaming us all. Okay. I have no idea what you think I'm doing that's shaming you or anybody else, but we don't live in Tian. You know that, right? We don't live there. We live here. And then she switches back to common, for lack of a better word. And I know you understand this because you're the one who taught this to me. So why are we pretending we have to talk in Tian unless you don't want people to hear you call me a whore again? Which, quite frankly, I haven't even touched anybody in years. So, and he just makes a gesture, a chopping gesture. You are, and he says this again in Tian, so only Shiro understands it. You are as dead to me as your horrible mother. And he turns and walks out.
The entire time, my eyes have just been going back and forth and back and forth. And then when he calls her a whore, they damn near bulge out of their head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
it's a really big insult in your culture.
Yeah, Swift is just watching him and his reaction, and kind of like elbows him when the guy walks out and goes, "What do you say?"
Whisper to her discreetly, just to run down everything. She's embarrassing. He called her a whore just like their mother.
And she's like, she actually lifts the drink that she was giving to somebody else and drinks it herself. Tonk. That was my father.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
She like, kind of like laughs. She's like laughing and she's like, yeah, he got his.
Yeah,
I
cheers.
mean-
I'll drink to that.
Lifts the tankard, takes a drink. Okay, so about this Tobin guy.
I really have no idea what they would have done with him. I don't know where they would have taken him. We thought they took him to Thistletop, but when people went up there to get him, there was just goblins there. He wasn't anywhere to be found. So
And did they clear out Thistletop?
They tried to. I mean, as far as I know, they did. But I mean, what would stop goblins from going back there once we weren't there? It's not like people keep going back up to Thistletop to constantly make sure they're not there.
So what I'm wondering is maybe this wasn't because. I mean, obviously the mayor's confused and wondering how these guys knew that there was like a festival and all of that. And if they cleared out the dudes at Thistle, well, maybe there's another goblin settlement you guys don't know about, and that's where they dragged him off to.
Maybe.
That these guys came from, which is why he had the book, right?
I mean, that's certainly possible. I mean, I'm not really an expert in goblins.
You know anybody? Can I have that book back?
Yeah. She hands it over.
Kind of look at it again. Do you know anybody? Any kind of like? I mean, I'm not a magic-y kind of person. Do you know if there's any way that like somebody could trace where this book came from?
In Sandpoint, probably not. I mean, there's a couple of penny ante fortune tellers, but they're both 95% BS.
Yeah, they got Ogwish cards.
Yeah, there's some older Parisians who don't truck much with having towns. They might know somebody who could probably tell you something, but I mean, when are they going to even come through? They don't come by. They visit. They come in, they sell their wares, they buy the stuff they need, they leave. They don't. I honestly kind of would have expected them to come to the festival. The fact that they aren't here means maybe they saw something, but that's all I really know.
Or maybe they were intercepted.
It's not. Well, I can't say that. I would not think that that's likely. When the Parisian the old ways that they keep tend to be real insular, but they also tend to be pretty knowledgeable about the area. Like they know this place way better than people who live in towns. Kind of have to.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything's possible. I'm not an expert on
You know if there's anybody that was here, he was dragged off? That was
lots of people from the time are still around.
Remember?
I mean, I don't know what they would remember. I mean, he was like the chief priest for 20, 30 years. It was him and his ward. What the heck was that one girl's name? My brother was always talking about her. I can't remember her name.
Lisa?
No, it wasn't Lisa. Okay. That's a weird name, Lisa. Who the heck's named Lisa?
I know, right? It just popped in my head.
Somebody here, I'm going to make you guys make this check for me. You're rolling a d20 and adding 7 to it, and you need a 19.
I rolled a 15.
I rolled a 13 for 20.
Okay, I'm going to go with the first one
16.
because I only wanted one roll.
Yeah.
But that's more than enough. She's like slaps her hand against her head and goes, Nualia. Her name was Nualia. She was not Tobin's daughter. I remember that they found her. She was a special child. And she does like finger quotes, like apparently blessed by Iomade, some kind of celestial destiny. They called her an Asmar, something like that.
Asmar?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, like flappy angel people or something.
She just looked like a. All right, I'm gonna sound a little crude here. She just looked like a hot chick to me. Like
they usually do.
Like really long white blonde hair, dressed really modestly. Yet you could tell. Woof, I don't know what's under there, but I'd kind of like to find out if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, she was something special. My brother was completely lost for her. Which I don't know. Like she apparently had some other boyfriend that like took advantage of her, and her I don't want to say father because he wasn't her father. He was just in charge of her. But he freaked out and kind of gave her what mine just gave me. But yeah, that's around the time when they burned the church, and they burned they set fire to my house at the time, and a bunch of other houses too. And Yeah, a lot of us lost people. My mom died during that, which you don't have to feel bad for me or for nothing. I'm just telling you it happened. But yeah, it's been a rough couple of years. Taking the town a while to try to get back on its feet, and quite frankly, I'm not sure we're doing all that great considering goblins just attacked again.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where they came from.
Yeah, I mean that's. Look, tell you what, I am sure that when Devon comes back, he is going to make you guys all sorts of fine speeches and promises and all that good stuff. And it's great that you're here, and it's great that you helped out. But if you wanted to look for where these goblins are coming from, I could pay you. I've got, despite my father's disapproval, I got quite a lot of money from my mother when she died, and I've used to build this. I am not
This
poor.
is a nice place, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And she does kind of half smile, like for a second her features soften, then they go right back to looking somewhat hard. She does smile a lot, but when she smiles, it almost looks like she's going to stab someone. She has very little of gentleness in her features. But when you say the place is nice, she kind of gets that way.
So it's not resting witch face, it's just witch face like all the time.
It's more like active bitch face. Like she deliberately puts it on, but she can look nice. And she does seem sincere. Like when she says things, she doesn't seem to be playing a game or.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, number one, I want to find out where those goblins came from, and number two, and she holds up the book. I mean, why would they? That's what I want to know. Like, why would a goblin?
Did they write anything in it? And what am I saying?
I don't
They're
know.
goblins, and I'm asking if they wrote something.
She flips through it. Is there anything written in it?
A lot of stuff that might be writing if goblins have an alphabet, but you're not entirely sure. You don't recognize any of it. There's a lot of scribbling, though.
Compare it to the scroll that I found.
Oh, okay. Make a perception check. I should have said check. Just make a perception.
12 plus 6, 18.
The scroll is like... The scroll compared to this is like the difference between finding a ancient illuminated manuscript and finding a small child's scrawl using the same text. Like you can kind of recognize several of the letters, but you have occultism, you said?
Yeah.
It occurs to you what this scroll is. The scroll isn't goblin. It's abyssal.
Oh.
You recognize it now that you're comparing it to the scratchy marks. The scratchy marks are pretty much probably written by a goblin. The writing on this scroll is abyssal, and it's formal abyssal.
Huh.
You don't read it, but you've seen it in enough. Your knowledge of occultism means you've seen enough documents that were written in it. One of the places that you can see the difference is there's a nation of Cheliacs where everybody's an infernal worshiper. They worship devils. This is very clearly not that. Because this is all extremely jagged lines. There's no rigidity to it. It's all it's like watching like a waterfall smash into rocks. Like that's the best way you could put into it. It's just completely chaotic and jumbled, but aggressively formally so. Like it's chaotic for the sake of being chaotic, unlike Infernal, which would be very organized. And you're like, yes, this is abyssal. This isn't Goblin. If goblins have a language, this isn't it.
Huh. And I'm going to look at the notes in the book again. So the notes in the book also, it looks like a goblin was trying to write abyssal.
Yes, and failing.
Huh. Can I cross-reference the two and see if any of the phrases?
You'd really need to know more.
I do have occultism.
You'd need to make a successful occultism check to even start.
It's a +2. Right?
Yeah, you can try.
Can I make a check too?
15.
Just looking over her shoulder and saying,
I mean, you could do the thing that Joe did and aid you. You could aid her. Unless you have occultism. You haven't said you.
I have occultism +7, so...
Okay, let her do it.
Yeah, go.
But I rolled a 9 for 16.
You need to spend a few nights looking at this before you could really do that.
I'll just hand you the scroll.
You think you see some letters in common, but it's like... It's really hard with the goblin scroll being this bad. It's like seriously trying to compare somebody's formal court writing with the scribblings of a demented person who's never actually seen letters before. The goblin was clearly trying to learn this, but it's not taking very well.
I mean, I could look for patterns, but it'd take me some time, and I don't know how much it would give us. It would be better if we could just find someone who could speak it, certainly.
I'd like to help you, but I don't know anybody who could speak any of that. I don't even know what that is.
I have a GM question. Had we contracted for anything specific with the Pathfinder Society, or are they just like job postings? Was there a job posting to deal with goblins, or
They've had a few job postings to deal with goblins. You all came here for different reasons. Shiro is the only one who came here because he was specifically investigating a thing called the Skin Saw Man, which is rumored to be related to something going on in Sandpoint. But he hadn't found anything to actually connect them, so he's beginning to think it was a waste of time. Everybody else, however, you basically just came here looking for work. Certainly, however, like her offer to pay you seems sincere enough. I mean, you can roll some checks if you really want to determine if she's lying or not.
No, I'm in. I mean, this is weird. I want to know more about it.
Yeah, I mean, even if we weren't getting paid, I'd be on about this.
Since I have a dead end, I'm down to contract.
Yes, this is very odd. And if we're going to keep the town safe, if to keep more people from getting hurt or dying, you've got to deal with this problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done some jobs for them in the past before I got really serious about the bar. If you want, I can send over a notice. I know laundry over there, and set it up officially through them so that you get your qualifications. I know that helps when working in other places. So it's up to you. Or we can just do it right now. I can just drop some gold on the table and you can work with it however you'd rather do it.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, Varsha doesn't care
cool.
either way, so I'm not going to comment.
I mostly just want to assist the people. So whatever gets that done, I'm in.
So more gold allows me to buy more alchemy stuff.
Well, here's what we'll do. She pulls out a bag and puts it on the table. That's 100 gold that you can split however you want. I'll contact laundry in the morning and make you an official job offer so that when you get it done, you can present it to the Pathfinder Society and they'll bump you up in terms of jobs. And that way you get some money now you can spend to do what you want with it. Right now, I'm really tired and not looking forward to when my father gets serious about calling me names. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go upstairs, get some business done, and go to sleep. It'd be really great if you would lock up so nobody else comes in the bar.
Sure.
That'd be great.
By the way,
yeah,
says, just kind of staring at the ceiling nonchalantly. If you want anything done about
no, that's if I wanted my father. Something happened when my mom died. I don't know what happened to him. He just changed.
I mean, I'm not saying,
no,
stab him or anything. Just maybe.
If I wanted something done to him, I could do it.
Okay.
I just want him to stop being an asshole.
Yeah.
I understand. It's easier when it's not somebody you actually care about, because then you can do stuff. But he's my father.
Grief does have odd ways of manifesting in individuals.
Yeah, I mean, between my mother and my brother being gone all the time, I don't even blame him for being angry. I just tired of him taking it out on me.
I don't want to hurt him or kick him.
Well,
I would consider it a kindness if you would leave my father alone.
Okay, that's fine. And
she turns and she gives Shiro a look, you're not sure what the look means, but she does give you a look, and then she heads up the stairs. And you now have a bag with 100 gold in it to split up however you want.
Cool.
It's actually 100, and it's 102 gold because it's 50 gold, but then a bunch of silver. So but it comes out to about 100 gold. It's 102 gold.
So that's what, 25 a piece, yeah?
Basically. Well, one person could get 20, two of you could get one more piece. So 25, 25, 26, and 20. But the people who got the 26 would have to have a lot of silver in their take.
Yeah, I'll just take the 25. I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with the 25.
Yeah.
So Varys and Aguish, you guys taking your cut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a card and everything. You should have an extra.
Yeah, it's not actually me.
Oh.
And I point out all the little variations, the differences and things like that. Clearly, it's a different Gripply.
Oh.
Completely.
Wow. I'm sorry. That was very
Oh no, you're fine.
Assumptive of me.
You are fine.
It does look, even with the whole thing, but they all look alike to me. Aside, it does look a lot like him. This could be his father or a brother. It is extremely, the eyes in particular, the way it's licking one of its eyes is exactly how you see an Aguish.
Yeah, as you look up from the card, that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah, it does look very close. You don't. Now that he's pointed out this stuff, now that you've pointed this stuff out, it does look different, but it looks like if you saw a picture of your mother at a younger age, it might remind you of the facial features are very similar.
You're not like related.
Not to my knowledge. I've
Your dad or your uncle?
never met my parents, so I have no idea.
You never met your parents.
No, I was raised in the monastery.
Wait, so okay, this is gonna be weird, right? But I've always been kind of curious, right? Because I mean, you are who you. Is it an egg situation? Do they actually like have a baby? Like, how does that work?
Yes, it is an egg. It is an egg situation. There's yes. We hatch from eggs. We actually hatch from eggs. Yes.
Crazy. Okay, cool. Dang, clearing that up. You look mildly distressed, but informed.
Okay, but we could tell people that come to the town festival they're meeting a celebrity. It might help us. And then I just grab the card and I wave it like with a smiling face. Like, come on.
I am not a celebrity. That's not how this works.
Oh, fun.
No, thank you.
Fun.
No, thank you.
I know a celebrity.
There's some guy, like, as you guys are doing this, there's like a little, like a halfling who's just been really hard drinking the whole time. And he turns around and looks and says, "You are a handsome frog, though. Don't ever let them take that away from you, man."
Thank you.
I mean, your skin's super moist, huge eyes. I mean, dang.
With,
You
like,
hit the
kinda
frog
elbows,
lottery, man.
Elbows Aguish. Get it.
I
Keep putting it down.
I thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, man. I remember when I was a Gripply, totally cool.
Wait, when you were...
I just cock my head to the side and like look at him.
I was in touch with nature and the world, and so I would, I went to serve. Like you want to serve the world, part of nature. And then I died, and then when they brought me back, as this.
Ah, okay.
Which is, it's fine. Being a halfling is fine. I'm not going to die again and see if I can get a better deal, man. It's not how it works. You don't tell the world, "No, man, put me back." But seriously, dude.
Just random question.
I am completely bullshitting you guys right now. You know that, right?
Oh. She was about to show him the card and go, "Do you know who this man is?"
No, I have no idea. I'm just effing with you because you're talking out in front of everybody and I'm drunk as hell. I'm sorry, but he is a good-looking frog.
Yeah, we'll say I agreed. The tongue thing on the eye, it's a little weird, but it's okay.
The thing where you guys saved the town, that was so cool.
Thanks.
I remember when
I know it's been a stressful day, sir, but do you think maybe you've had enough for now? Maybe just a little enough?
What, I need to drink more?
No, we're supposed to be locking up, so can you get the hell out of here?
Well, I'm staying here upstairs.
Oh,
I get a
okay.
room I
Then
rented.
you need to go retire, because the bar's closing, man.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, though, you want to find out about old Father Tobin?
Yeah.
I do know somebody you might want to talk to.
Yeah?
I don't know if you guys met the mayor yet.
Yeah, he was.
He
said
was
lots of things.
Fortunately.
He was
Was
he
he
was
a frog
really
too?
tight. I mean, I don't think so. You could ask him. He was really tight with Father Tobin. Like, Father Tobin was like his mentor and stuff.
Oh.
You might know more. He was
Cool.
like super in love with the guy's daughter, but everybody was like she
Him
was
too,
super
huh?
beautiful. Oh yeah, lots of people were in love with her.
Wow.
I mean, she was like chosen by Iomade herself and really hot.
It was
and,
that whole angel thing. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that whole thing. And the angel thing, which everybody was like so invested in her, though. It was like kind of weird, actually. Like, what does it matter if she's been chosen by Iomade? You ain't been chosen by Iomade. Why are you so excited about it?
So I'm just kind of curious. What happened to her?
Oh, she's just gone. I guess we kind of thought maybe the goblins got her, or maybe she ran off when her father died. I mean, if I saw my father get, murdered by goblins, I'd probably leave.
So they didn't take her too. They just took him.
We don't know. The thing is, we don't think they took her because what's his name? Longitsu Tatsu. I don't know. One of Emiko's family. I think it's her brother.
Her brothers.
He said that he saw her like the night after, like that she came to like collect some stuff from the church, and then she told him that she couldn't stay here. But a lot of us think he was bullshitting. He was so over the head with her. You know how it is.
He told. No, wait. She just. Okay. Well, cool. Thanks anyway for the heads up.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. if that was offensive to you, man, I mean, I didn't mean to be offensive. I
You're-
just thought you kind of seemed down, and I'm really drunk.
That's
Like, I'm so drunk, man.
that's quite all right. Thank you.
Anyway, they call me Little Jimmy. I think because I'm small and my name's Jimmy. I mean, those two
Probably.
things, they make sense, right?
Probably a good assumption.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Okay. He just
Okay.
Drink some-
He flops on the table like thump.
No, room, buddy.
That makes sense. That makes sense that you meant that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go upstairs now. Like he gets
Okay,
up and
bye.
he's like walking off, kind of like bouncing into things a little as he goes.
Is there anybody?
Remember,
else in
Little
the bar?
Jimmy.
Varsha's gonna yell up after him, drink some water.
Is there anybody else in the bar?
Most people have been like trifling out. There's a couple of people in the corner. They see you looking at them and like, we're just let us finish this and we'll go up.
Wrap it up.
Yeah,
We're tired too.
They finish up, and after a couple of minutes, they get up and head. They actually head out entirely. They don't go upstairs.
Lock up.
Want to look around and see if, real quick, to see if anyone left anything.
Nothing of real consequence. There's I'm not gonna make you roll. There's like occasionally like somebody like leave a coin to probably to cover the tab or whatever. There's nothing like major left behind.
So that loot that she had, is that hanging somewhere?
Yeah, it's hanging from the hook next to the door.
I just want to look at it. I don't want to.
It's not a loot. It's just similar to a lute. It's easily 3 times longer than any musical instrument you've ever seen of its type. It's got a very long wooden handle, a large head behind it, and it's kind of like a almost paddle shaped in the back. I will actually try and get you an image if you want to see it.
So there's no strings on it or anything.
There are strings on it. They just go across the paddle part.
He's just gonna kind of pluck at it absently, see if it makes.
It does make noise.
Weird.
I'm gonna go.
It kind of has a very like if you've ever heard like a steel drum guitar or a banjo, it has a similar kind of sound that cling, like, but it's reflecting off of the paddle part, so it's less metallic and more cloth-like.
Huh. And then she's gonna go to bed.
If Shiro did not, Varsha's going to go and collect any coins on tables and put them like behind the bar. If there's like a cash register or anything, at least just stack them up and get them out of.
There's not an actual
sight.
cash register, but there are places stash them up.
They'll like not stash it as in like hide it for myself, but put it
No,
somewhere.
I understand.
Yeah.
There is a till.
Yeah, Swift's going to go upstairs and find whatever room they've been assigned. Go back to bed.
Rest is a good idea after today.
Alrighty.
It looks like we have work for tomorrow.
Does anybody have anything they want their character to do before they go to rest?
Swift is going to look at that book again before she goes to sleep. Those scribbles that are in it, are they just in the margins or are they all over the thing?
They're like in pretty much every available white space when they're there. Like not every page has them, but they're just
Okay, so it's not.
This is not
everything.
somebody who's trying to neatly annotate something. This is somebody who's just going nuts with a quill, but doesn't want to actually obscure the writing in. They want that to be there for some reason.
Is there anything that's been underlined or circled or anything, or is it just scribbled?
That's an interesting question because there are things that have been underlined, but you don't know if the goblin is the one who underlined.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there anything like remarkable about what's been underlined, or just like random stuff?
I'm gonna say make me a perception check.
My cat is
Rude.
perception check 18 plus 5,
Okay.
so 23.
A lot of them are what you would expect someone who's using this thing to give sermons would have. Like there's an entire passage about Iomade returning from her trial to become a god using the Starstone, which is an object that fell into the world and was used first by a rodent to become a god back in the ancient times. She went onto the Starstone chamber and succeeded at whatever trial she was given and rose into divinity, that kind of thing. But some of it is like there's a description of a banquet like held when this merchant's 3 sons miraculously returned from what was presumed to be their deaths, and the merchant spent all his money to have this lavish feast. And there's a bunch of stuff like there's a bunch of scribbles in that area, like right next to that passage.
Like scribbles or
scribbles, not underlining scribbles, but the scribbles are like right next to the passage, and there's nothing else scribbled on that page.
And it's a list of food, right?
No, it's a list of Oh, actually, no, you're right. In a way, it is a list of food. It's a list of all the animals that were brought to be killed for the meal. Like they slew the horses and they
I was
slew.
going to say, is horse on that list?
Yes, it talks about them eating horse.
I get what
I'm gonna
you're looking at.
bookmark that page.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bookmark that page.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to kind of like close it, make a weird face, and then flop over and go to sleep.
If you look in our work chat, the D&D channel, you'll see a picture of a Mako and the musical instrument in question.
Oh, cool. Neat.
I'm just before bed going to make sure to give Maisie some of her elixir, and maybe set a couple of things brew overnight.
All right. We've been at it for 2.5 hours. So I am thinking now is probably a pretty good time to stop, because if we don't, we're going to end up probably going another 2 hours, and I simply can't do another 2
I think this is
hours.
okay for a session one.
Yeah.
This is a
Session
good
one.
break
We got to
point
fight
also.
some stuff. We got to talk to some people. We found a book.
You met little Jimmy.
Met little Jimmy.
It's
We
so
heard
hard
the
not to make
frogs
that
for
joke.
some reason. It's a little weird, but okay. Not judging.
Sort of had your fortune read.
Kinda.
Kind of, sort of.
I mean, most of the cards were about death, except for the one with Agua shot, but not Agua.
Yeah, that's a little worrying. Except, it would be a little worrying if fortune tellers weren't full of shit.
Yeah.
I love
And then
that I
later on,
can't tell
full
if you
of
were in
each
character or
other,
not, but I
apparently.
felt like you were in character. That's great.
Yeah, she's all about. She's scientifically minded, and this is they're just.
I like to
conning you out of
imagine
your
that,
money,
like, this
Swift.
conversation is actually between Swift and her.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you're just laying in bed talking about what happened during the day, staring up the ceiling.
Yeah, I like it. We can say that's what happened.
All right. So that's the stopping point. If you guys have anything you want to do before the next session, just email me and tell me what your character does. The next session will take place a day later, not just when you wake up from today. It will be exactly 1 day later. So you will have a day. Basically, you're going to get treated as celebrities and be feted in the town, and they're going to continue the festival, and they're going to want to feature you guys as important people who saved the town.
I am
So that
definitely
stuff's
going to
happening.
want to talk to the mayor, but that can probably wait till the
He's
day
definitely going to
after.
be involved.
Okay.
I will tell you now that because this adventure says right in its thing to do this quick, you guys hit level 2.
Wow.
Okay,
It
then.
says to use the
Okay.
fast progression track. So you
Cool.
are level 2 now, including Phil's character when he gets around. I'll make sure to mention that. But yeah.
How exciting! Leveling is always exciting.
I don't think I.
Level
Oh, I do get
two,
something
level
at level 2.
two.
I get a class feat and a skill feat. This will be interesting.
Yeah.
One thing that
Ooh,
I
same.
really like about Pathfinder so far is it looks like at every level you get something super interesting. Whereas
Yeah.
in D&D, it feels like sometimes you get a level and it's like, oh, I got one more spell slot.
My
Okay,
AC
whatever.
went up by 1.
Oh,
Mine
geez, you're already
too.
impossible to hit.
Monks.
Yeah, there's a lot to recommend about Pathfinder, and there's also a lot to get to learn about it. Like I'm
Mhm.
still picking stuff up, and obviously running that combat was super stressful for me, to be completely honest. But yeah, I'm glad that we're giving it a shot, and I love this adventure path, and I'm loving getting to make my own little tweaks and stuff in it. Like some of the stuff is
Mhm.
mine, some of the stuff is from the module. I'm just making sure to put in stuff. I don't want to just do what's in the book, because then if anyone just happens to see the book, then they'll know what's going to happen. I'm definitely playing around a little bit, but thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to Joe for basically being the backup rule brain, so I don't have to know everything. That's super helpful, man. Thank you.
I help.
And
Yay!
thank you to Ann and Liz.
This was super fun, Matt, and the combat actually went really smoothly, considering it's kind of a first for everyone.
Yeah, I was actually really worried, but it's pretty fast to pick up the basics. Like once you understand the action thing, like the rest of it's pretty easy to understand.
Mhm.
But I want to thank both you and Ann and Nick as well for having interesting characters and doing cool stuff with them. And I'm really sorry, Nick, that you and I apparently had the rules, the dice curse today, because my word, the rolling.
Man, I rolled like 2 natural ones.
Yeah, it's not been great.
I was
the-
over here punching the air, like just no, not happen to me.
Yeah,
Please.
no, it happens. It's the danger of role playing games is sometimes you just roll terribly over and over again. But luckily for you, the game master was also rolling terribly, so It kind of balances it.
And I'm surrounded by killing machines.
Yeah, you really are. The thing is on paper, I'm sure once you start not rolling terrible, gunslingers have a lot going on. So it's all right. Thank you. If anyone has anything else they want to say before we get going, now is the time. And otherwise, that's it.
I find it really funny that I'd changed my character around stat wise, and none of it saved in Demiplane. So I just went with my original stats, which I decided were kind of unreasonable, but works for the character. And it's just it was funny. I opened up my character sheet just before the game, and it's like, oh, I don't have time to fix it. I guess I'm rolling with it because I have -1 strength.
No, that's fine.
-1 strength, and -1 strength means there's a lot of stuff you can't use weapon and armor wise. So I was like, maybe I should take the practical choice and have zero strength and not negative strength, but didn't save. So now I'm playing the ultimate fantasy of a really weak but really smart character.
A really weak, really smart rat.
Yes.
You're like Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Really.
He was not weak.
I love it. I love it.
That's a conversation for another time. But thank you very much, Matt, for running. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. It was a lot of fun. And thank you, our listeners.
Yeah.
And thank you, our listeners.
Hopefully, we might get to go next month, but we'll see. I don't know if that'll happen.
At the beginning of the month. There's
next month is a busy time for people. Yeah.
Really? I don't know why. Yeah. I mean, we can't just play the first weekend.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we aren't. Wow,
I'm gonna be elsewhere.
Yeah.
If
we do play next month, it will not be early, and of course, the end of November is also a problem.
Watch our socials and watch the site and the Discord for the announcement of when our next game recordings will be. Pay attention to the podcast. We will announce when the next ones will be. We'll try to keep you in the loop as much as possible.
Yep, absolutely. So I guess that's it. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.